Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. Excited for today's show. We have one of the best out there as far as crime fiction goes. We have Caitlin Rother back with us today, and we've got one of the best as far as a stunning work that she's come up with here. Her latest staged thriller, which is out today. Folks, I got the privilege of being able to read this a little bit early, and I'll tell you, I've got goosebumps now as I'm talking about it. I want to bring her in here and talk a little bit about it. Let me properly introduce her first as we get to this, and we'll settle in and talk a little bit about Caitlin and Goode, our characters, which I've begun to fall more and more deeply in love with. These two characters. I'm sorry, I'm not Caitlin. Caitlin is my guest. I'm talking about Katrina and Goode. See, I'm getting the two mixed up. I'm thinking Caitlin is actually in my book that I'm reading in front of me, and she.
Well, a lot of people wonder that. So
I know, right? I'm beginning to think that maybe the two of them are together here, and they're not. But Katrina and Goode, which the two of them, again, I think are absolutely wonderful characters. My guest, Caitlin Rother, which I'm confusing here, written 16 books ranging from crime novels to narrative nonfiction and memoir, including Down to the Bone, Death on Ocean Boulevard, and Body Parts. She's, of course, an award-winning investigative reporter for 19 years. Caitlin has had her work featured in Cosmopolitan, the LA Times, the Washington Post, the Boston Globe, the San Diego Union Tribune, and the Daily Beast. Her more than 250 media appearances, including 2020 People Magazine, Investigates, Crime Watch Daily, Australia's World News, and numerous shows on Netflix, Investigation Discovery, or ID, Lifetime, HLN, and Reels, and much, much more. She's also a very popular speaker, folks. Caitlin also works as a writing research coach, and for fun, she binges on limited series, sings and plays keyboards in a jazzy bluesy trio with her partner, and she also swims in the ocean, which, again, our Detective Goode is a surfer, so she's got plenty of experience to throw into these particular thrillers. She also holds a BS in psychology from UC Berkeley and an MS in journalism from Northwestern University. Let's welcome her back. One of my favorite guests, Caitlin Rother. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
Great to be back. Thank you. You're one of my favorite podcasters. So there you go.
Well, thank you so much. High compliment indeed. Staged, my gosh. I so enjoyed this. I so enjoyed this book. And the reason being is it seems like the web keeps getting more intricate as we jump into these. And it got so much more intricate with this particular one. When last we left Katrina and Goode, Katrina had her life threatened, literally had her life threatened, as she had been injected with a drug by a father and son team, I guess is the best way to put it, right?
By the son, the father wasn't there, but the son later blamed the father for putting him up to it, and the father denied it. So I guess, yeah, that's the end of Hooked as we're leading into Staged.
Right. And she, Detective Goode has managed to along with the rest of the San Diego Police Department, has managed to save her from that. She's recovering from that, or trying to get her head wrapped around that. But now she's on a mission to try and figure out the rest of the story and figure out who exactly has not only murdered her parents, but she's also trying to get her head around the fact that her brother didn't commit suicide. And that's where we're at here with Staged, correct?
Well, the medical examiner's office said he died of an apparent overdose that looked like a suicide. And that's the ruling. She believes, however, that it was connected to her parents' murder 6 months later, but she has not been able to investigate that yet. So she came back to San Diego right before Hooked begins. And so she's back. She's been back a week or something. She grew up in San Diego, but she left as a result of her parents being shot basically assassinated in their driveway. The police basically said, hey, you might want to get out of town and lay low for a while because, just 6 months before her parents were shot, her brother was found dead. And so she believes these are connected, but she hasn't been able to connect the dots. And the San Diego Police Department, which was allegedly investigating her parents' death, because that's pretty high profile. 2 federal judges are shot dead in the driveway. It seems to have gone cold, and she doesn't know why, because why would you, stop such a high profile death, investigation? It just doesn't make sense to her. So she talks to Goode about it, and they discuss that in Hooked. And then in Staged, this is kind of a goal for them to jump back in, but kind of off the books. Okay. Because Goode was not part of the original police investigation. And I don't remember where this happens to be. Sorry, I've written books 3 and 4 as well. But if he hasn't been yet, he's basically told, keep your hands off this investigation. It's none of your business, kind of thing. Yeah. So he kind of has to do it off the books. And she's not a police investigator. She's just going to do it on her own and not for the paper because, she doesn't share that with her editors.
Right. Before we jump into a lot of that, there's a thread here that you kind of leave open in the book, which is very interesting, and that is
which book? Hooked or Staged?
In Staged.
Okay.
That she keeps mentioning throughout the book, and I know you're going to get back to it, and it's probably going to happen in 3 and 4. But Katrina keeps mentioning, I had to leave the old town because of the Polish mafia incident.
Right.
But it never quit. There's never really any details, just that it was a very traumatic time in her history. But
I do give you some details, and I don't think I ever really do come back to that. But she's not sure who's stalking her. Because, so in Hooked, there's an incident where she comes out and her Range Rover, the front window, the dash, what do you call it, windshield is shattered, and there's a rock that obviously has gone through it and broken it, and it's got a note attached to it. And it's one of those things that you always see in a kidnapping ransom note where they don't want you to see handwriting. So it's like little pieces of letters that are cut out of a magazine. And so basically it's threatening her to stop investigating, these 2 initial suspicious deaths of these 2 biotech executives who were basically developing this sexual enhancement drug. Now, this drug remains a theme throughout the series, and book 4 is when the drug is finally released by the FDA and into the community. So hopefully that will get published sometime down the line. I've already written books 3 and 4. So, in Staged, there's another incident where she has the same thing happen again. Yeah. And so basically now these notes are getting even more personal and more threatening. So she's just not sure. Is it somebody who is involved in these current deaths that she's investigating, or is it somebody from this incident that happened back where she just came from, back in Massachusetts, where she was covering a case where the superintendent of schools had done some funky, corrupt contract with a waste management company owned by a Polish mafia family, and she gets threatened. The superintendent's wife is murdered because she's the one who released these documents to Katrina, and her eyes are gouged out, in a message. Basically, she saw too much. I mean, I actually got that from a real case that I covered. And there's also a car sitting outside Katrina's house, and there's somebody inside with this like orange lit cigar, and there's a barrel of a gun sticking out the window pointing at her bedroom. So she's getting these messages at home, these threatening messages, voicemails. So she doesn't know whether that person who was that family that was stalking her, they have since been arrested and they're awaiting trial, but they don't want her to testify. But I think that's probably about as much as you're going to get. But that's just because she doesn't know whether that has followed her to San Diego or if it's somebody new. Or is it somebody who knows about that? I mean, she just doesn't know who's threatening her, but somebody is stalking her and threatening her.
I guess what I mean by we don't quite know what that full case is that a prequel per se, or does that come up in 3 and 4, that entire case?
It doesn't come back. The prequel actually to the series is called Naked Addiction, and it only involves Ken Goode, the detective.
Okay. All right.
It's because Katrina did not exist when I wrote Naked Addiction.
Okay.
I mean, I could write another book somewhere down the line and make it a prequel. Yes, I could, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to do a book just on Katrina alone, but I could. She might also come. I've written another book, which is I hope to be a separate series. And I do mention her in that, and I'm thinking about bringing her into that series with a female sheriff's detective.
I find her incredibly fascinating because I think what you've done in this book with Katrina is you've brought her up to be an investigative equal with Goode. It really, she's
well, that's what she's supposed to be.
Yeah, and her prowess is just as good, if not better, than him. So I think that it's become an interesting dynamic now. It almost to the point where Detective Stone or Sergeant Stone, I'm sorry, has brought himself down to a third or fourth player.
Well, Sergeant Stone has said and says again that he always kind of looked at Ken Goode, who was, 5 years younger, and he was like the younger guy, and he, Sergeant Stone, Rusty Stone is his name, taught him how to surf. And anyway, but Goode has always been smarter and, more athletic, a better surfer. And he grew up and, yes, surpassed him. But they're buddies, they're childhood friends. And even though Stone is his boss, they're really partners and best friends, so. But Stone is and they have a deep brotherly love too, which comes up in this book when something happens to Stone and Goode is, by his side in the hospital, etc. So
yep. The dynamic does, and I guess we can kind of hint on this a little bit. It grows a little deeper between Katrina and Goode. There's been a little bit of a romantic kindling happening here, but it's even though people are going to get teased a little bit here because there's the no touch rule again happening here where
right
there's this romantic flame here. But again, because of what happens with this case here, no touching, right?
Right. Well, because they've both been told by their superiors. Well, I mean, okay, so in journalism, there are boundaries. Okay. And we just saw over the past week, and I've been talking a lot about this on other podcasts, some of which have already run, some of which have not. This whole thing with CBS and the Trump administration and the government ignoring all boundaries between the media and government, the media and police. It's the same thing. Government is not supposed to be getting involved in journalistic investigations, and journalists are not supposed to be an arm of law enforcement.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be sharing information. They're not supposed to be friends. They're certainly not supposed to be dating each other or having sex with each other.
Right.
And so Sergeant Stone has already told Goode, directly, hands off.
Yeah.
So, because he's already kind of gotten in trouble before. There was another situation that came up in Hooked. I mean, and it started in Naked Addiction, actually. But there was a mother who complained about seeing some witness going into Goode's apartment or house or whatever, and they're trying to fit, and Goode didn't ever tell Stone because he thought, well, deniability, he wanted to give him deniability, but nothing ever happened. So he didn't really say anything about it. And he was protecting her, blah, blah, blah. But he's already got this blemish on his record previously. And so he's been warned, do not cross that line with this reporter that you seem to be, talking a lot with. And they're also been accused, when they were in Piatti, when they first met, as this restaurant bar where they first met at the bar, they've been accused of canoodling, in public. And so they have to be really careful because people are watching them out there, probably tied to the people involved in this case. And so ethically, they're not supposed to be together, but they also they're being watched.
Yeah.
And they know that. Yeah. And her life has been threatened. And so, it's dangerous too. So that's why they can't touch, because of that. But they've also, on a more personal level, they've both come to this situation from a background, both voluntarily choosing for themselves a phase of celibacy for their own mental health, because they've come out of some bad situation and they're both trying to just take a break. And so they're, they're personally not going to jump over that line over nothing. And they do start to become closer emotionally in this book. So yeah, it's important to understand the difference between, the ethical boundaries, and then also there are some personal emotional issues for both of them that have nothing to do with those ethical boundaries, as another reason why, they're clearly very attracted to each other and they want to be together. And so Katrina's actually trying to come up with some story ideas to try to get away from covering the cops, so she won't have a conflict of interest anymore. And then they can actually go out on a real date and not be breaking any rules.
Right. In that process, though, it seems like circumstances keep drawing them together to be involved in the same case, which is almost ironically funny. Right, that they keep being drawn into the same circumstance.
It's on purpose, yes, but because you think the case is solved at the end of Hook, but it's not. It turns out that the suspect that you thought was the end of the line, it turns out to be the tip of the iceberg, and it's much bigger. Yeah. I don't want to say too much because we don't want to give anything away, but that continues actually into book 3. This investigation gets bigger and more complicated. So it's as they dig deeper and go through the layers of the onion to kind of get to the bottom of this cabal that the first suspect brought up, and they don't know what that is. They don't know how many people are in it, who's in it. There's no list because it's like a secret thing, right? So they're trying to figure out who is this guy talking about. And then at the beginning of stage, boom, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like their primary suspect is dead. Now, what do we do now, right? And then 4 hours later, boom, his dad is dead, who he blamed and said it was his fault. So that's why, it starts getting more and more complicated, because clearly it was bigger than just one or both of the father and son.
Right. It's not necessarily an open and shut case, and that's what they find out, and that's what they start to investigate, which is very interesting. I tell you what, Caitlin, we'll take our break here. When we come back, I want to launch into a little bit of, not too much, but a little bit of Katrina's background and how she ends up starting to investigate her own family in this. And that in itself is entirely interesting as well. I mean, there's so many different threads and layers that you started to build. It's almost like a literary lasagna here that you've built. A literary lasagna that you built here with Staged. And it's incredibly fascinating. Staged, a Thriller is the name of the book. We have a link in the description of this program so you can go pick it up, folks. And I highly encourage you to pick it up. It's a great summer read. It's one of those reads that, again, you're not going to want to put down. It's a wonderful book. And we'll get back to that. We'll get back to Katrina and Goode. And we'll explore a little bit of Katrina's orphanage, if you will, when we come back in just a moment with Caitlin Rother, our guest. But first, I want to tell you about our sponsor today, Jelly Bean and Julia's, and talk a little bit about, just briefly, I want to thank Corey and Coley for having me out yesterday for Kenny's memorial. Kenny is, of course, Corey's father, who passed away tragically. And they had the memorial yesterday at the restaurant. So I want to thank you so much for having us out, or last week, having us out last week for that. And also, I want to remind you about the specials over at Jelly Bean and Julia this week. Of course, the specials for Jelly Bean and Julia, you have your Tuesday through Thursday specials at Jelly Bean and Julia's today through Thursday. And those specials, of course, include your drink specials that normally you have over there. And they do include the happy hour specials, the 25% off all appetizers, including the appetizer specials, the half price off single pour well drinks, the half price off Mick Golden Lights and Coors Light taps, and the half price off domestic cans and bottles. On Friday, of course, the smoked prime rib dinner, which I talk about, every time I talk about the smoked prime rib dinner. It's absolutely wonderful. Corey smokes that prime rib for 12 to 14 hours beforehand in the walk-in smoker. You have the tequila berry salad with that sweet and tangy dressing, the croutons, the bacon bits. You've got Texas toast with it, and you have that Boston baked potato as well. It starts at 4:30, and it gets served until it's gone. And, of course, you want to get there at 4:30. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. That's just all there is to it. Of course, every Friday night, they serve that smoked prime rib dinner, and it is one of the best meals you'll have in your life. I'll say top 5 all time. But that smoked prime rib is absolutely amazing. 14 and 16 ounce servings. So go ahead and indulge. You may even see me there. I'm pretty much there every Friday night for that smoked prime rib dinner. Of course, Sundays is breakfast. On Sundays, you have chicken and waffles. You've got brisket in the hash and much, much more. It's an amazing breakfast over there on Sundays at Jelly Bean and Julia's. You want more information? Click on the link in the description of this program, Jelly Bean and Julia's. jellybeanandjulias.com. It's over in Coon Rapids, Minnesota on Coon Rapids Boulevard. Jelly Bean and Julia's in Coon Rapids. All right, when we come back, more with Caitlin Rother. We're talking Staged, and we'll talk more about Katrina and Goode right here on the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm your host, Tim Dennis. My guest is Caitlin Rother. This is book 17 called Staged, a thriller. And a thriller it is. It's a very good one with our characters, Katrina Chopin and Detective Goode. When last we left you, I teased that we were going to talk a little bit about Katrina being an orphan, which she is. She's lost her parents in a double murder. They call it the double judge murders or the double judge homicides.
Double judge murders. That's right.
As they refer to it in the San Diego Police Department. And of course, what they refer to as the suicide of her brother, Franny, which she doesn't believe.
Reported suicide. She's never believed it from the get-go. And the whole reason being, and I think we should probably dig into that particular case here, Caitlin, to start with, is at his crime scene, there's a unusual thing here. Now her brother had a drug and alcohol issue, an addiction. And he had been clean for a little while, like what was that, up to a year, I believe? Yeah, it was a year. Uh-huh.
And at the scene of his reported suicide was a bottle of lemon infused vodka, and then some pills around his body, which she thought was highly unusual because he didn't like lemons. Correct?
Wait. So, okay, so it's their 30th birthday, and she was doing probably a Zoom call, some kind of FaceTime, something. She had that planned with her parents, and she saw that he wasn't on the screen. And so that's when they told her that this had happened to him. And this first thing she said was, but he doesn't even like lemons. In other words, why would he drink that? First of all, he's been clean for a year. And second of all, why would he be drinking something that he doesn't even like? Yeah. Right. So that, and that may seem like a small thing, but I mean, I'm writing this based on my own experience being married to an alcoholic. So I just want to point this out. So her fraternal twin brother, Franny, was in rehab with the woman who was found dead in the opening scene of Hooked. Her name was Victoria. And Katrina's publisher's son, Alex Petrell. Okay. So the three of them were in this rehab group. And as a result, the parents also have a family treatment group, which I used to go to with my husband. So this is where you bring in family members who are also affected by this addict or alcoholic's substance abuse problem. Okay. Mm-hmm. And you all sit in a room and you talk, because when you go, AA is recommended, Al-Anon is recommended. I did that as well, but there's not feedback allowed with that. It's just talking and people are supposed to listen. And then after the meeting, you can go up to the person and say whatever. But this gives you an opportunity to actually converse back and forth. And I ended up forming a new group afterwards with some of the other spouses. And so they all became very close. And so that's how these characters are all kind of intertwined. And the business of this drug enhancement, a sexual enhancement drug, and the investment in that drug and the company and that whole thing, that people were financially involved, emotionally involved, and it all kind of tied back to this addiction group and rehab. Anyway, so he's also friends with Alex, which you find out more later, but they were good buddies. And then as Franny became clean, there wasn't so much connecting them anymore because, when one of the people is more serious about their recovery than the other, it becomes difficult to stay friends. Yeah. So anyway, so he's found with this bottle of vodka, this lemon-infused vodka in these pills, but Katrina just feels like that something's just wrong with that. Something is wrong. And then 6 months later, when her parents are murdered, she definitely thinks there's something connecting that, because that seems very much bizarre and then she suddenly has no family. So her brother's gone and then her parents are gone and that's it. She's very much of an orphan. And so when Goode and Katrina meet first at Piatti at the bar, that's what they discuss. That's why they hit it off, because Goode is also an orphan. His mother actually did kill herself while he was 6 years old. She took him on a drive over the Coronado Bridge, pulled over to the side, and she left her shoes on the driver's side window and then went behind the car and just basically climbed over the railing. And he was sitting there, 6 years old, with the engine running, waiting for her to come back. So they have this connection, Katrina and Goode. So it's not just that they're both investigators. It's not just that they're covering the same case. They bonded, within minutes over losing someone, allegedly in one case, to suicide, but also being orphans. So they have that connection as well.
Just that scene of Goode as a child and his mother deciding to take her life is just so traumatic. Just going
and
that's
that. Actually very much drawn out in detail in Naked Addiction. I just refer back to it, but that's his whole backstory, and that's what Naked Addiction is all about. Is his backstory.
Yeah.
I had an editor who wanted to change something with that, like, there's only a few lanes on the suicide bridge. Can we change this? I'm like, no, it's already written in another book, and that's how people jump off that bridge actually pretty regularly. Sadly enough, that's a place where people go to jump.
Yeah, I don't know how, why, or what the motive would be to want to change that. It's such a powerful scene.
Because it was some logistical thing that they thought that there was an issue with trying to have somebody pull over to the side when there isn't a side. I'm like, that's the whole point. There's no shoulder there. It's not safe. It was a very reckless and weird thing to do. But when you're about to kill yourself, you're not thinking rationally.
Right. And it's
just what editors do.
Yeah, and, Caitlin, honestly, I tip my cap to you again creatively. It's the fact that an officer comes by and realizes that there's pain in this little boy's eyes, right, and just says, you know what, I can't let him just be turned over to someone else. I have to personally handle this.
And that's when Goode decided he wanted to be a police officer.
Yeah.
He's 6 years old because this man was so nice to him.
Yeah. So that's actually somewhat inspiring in a moment of extreme pain, right?
Right.
Yeah. That's when someone's there for you at your most desperate moment, the fact that inspires you to and changes your entire life, because Lord knows what would have happened to that little boy had he been turned over to a foster system.
For his mother to come back. He's like just sitting there waiting. He had a seatbelt fastened. He's looking in the rearview mirror. Where'd she go? Yeah. Sad.
But I mean, in that moment, anything could have happened. If a cop comes by who's unfeeling, uncaring, says, well, we're going to turn you over to foster care. And then he gets caught up in a system and pain builds up.
Well, his father was still alive, but so he wouldn't have gone into foster care. But yeah, it was just, the officer took him and made sure to take him home personally.
Yeah. Yeah. But, let's say dad doesn't want him.
Dad had a broken heart, and Dad didn't last long because he missed his wife.
Yeah.
But
so he
also has a sister. Good also has a sister who sort of comes in and out.
Yeah. Yeah. But like you said, there's two sad stories there, and it's heartbreaking. It really is heartbreaking. Both of them have heartbreaking stories.
I want to say thank you, but I don't know if that's the appropriate response.
No, it is. It is an inappropriate spot. It is an appropriate response. It was very it was very touching to read the story and go, well, because we all have inspirations for what we want to do as a career, right? We have inspirations for what fires us up in the morning and gets us up in the morning to do what we want to do. These
are the dark themes that are basically just part of my life because they've been part of my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
My husband was an alcoholic and he killed himself. So even before he died, I had already written Naked Addiction with those themes in them because I have some other alcoholism in the family, and so these are the themes in my life. So of course they're going to end up but they were in my true crime books too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Imagine being in here, boy. It can be a dark place, but hey, these are the themes that I don't know. I want to say inspire me, but they are the ones that drive me and haunt me. And so I try to help people. There's a lot of people who have addiction in their family. Somebody, it's in almost every family. It's pretty common, and sadly enough, right?
Very true. Well, you've been on both sides of it. You've been in therapy and you've put it on the written page. What's more therapeutic for you?
Well, okay, so I wrote a memoir, kind of a mini memoir. It's only 58 pages. It's called Secrets, Lies, and Shoelaces, and it was about my marriage. It took me 19 years to finish it. It was only 58 pages.
Wow.
So I tried to put it on paper, and it was very difficult because I was very angry.
Yeah.
And I didn't want that to come through. So I had to finish that. Before I wrote Death on Ocean Boulevard, which is a story about a woman who is found hanging naked, bound, and gagged in the rear courtyard of the Spreckles Mansion in Coronado. And the sheriff's department almost immediately decides that it's a suicide, and her family thinks she was murdered. And I actually got that deal because my editor I put it in the proposal, my husband hung himself. And so I had a unique perspective on that case because my own personal experience. So sometimes, you just use your own personal experience to personalize these stories, whether they're true or not true. And it was therapeutic to write that book, but it was more therapeutic to publish it and get it over with and get it out there, because trying to write it was a very actually difficult process. I just kept rewriting it over and over again. And I kept writing it until I got most of the anger out of it, because I don't think other people really want to read that. They want to read the story, but they don't want to dive into all of your anger. That's not helpful or interesting to other people. So I had to really get in there and figure out what the real message, what I wanted it to be. So anyway, yeah, I put it into these books. I don't know if it's therapeutic or not. I mean, I guess it is. I do it because it's a part of me, and it kind of is just where my brain goes,
But yet the anger is the catalyst that draws in the reader's emotion and gets them to.
Well, this was a memoir. And you'd have to trust me. There was too much of it.
Okay. I'll trust you.
I think some is okay, but it was too. It's just like complaining and griping kind of anger. I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like you don't want to hear somebody complain all the time. It was more like that, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I'll trust you on that.
At least that's how I felt. Like I said, I don't think people really want to read this, and so.
Okay. Yeah, I'll trust you on that.
Yeah. I mean, you read it now. It's an interesting story. It's very personal.
Yeah. Okay. Getting back to this, let's get back to Katrina on this. What's interesting about now getting to her parents and her parents' murder, it's a thing that to her, she wants to find justice, but as she's trying to get down to the nitty gritty of who would have murdered her parents, she's going through, she goes to her storage, and literally after her parents have been murdered, she puts everything in storage, locks it away, and says, I don't know that I want to deal with it right now. But then eventually has to go to her storage, and as she has a barely furnished apartment, she realizes, well, I need to, take a few things out of storage and be somewhat semi-permanent in my apartment, even though I don't think I'm going to stay here long. Because I need a few things, right? But then she discovers her mother's diaries and says, well, maybe I'll start to dig a little bit to see maybe there's something in here that will give me a clue as to why they were murdered. And she opens up Pandora's box. Doesn't she?
He does. And that's kind of far into the book, and I don't know if I want to say too much because
that's why I
don't want to give anything away. But
I pass it to you to tell me how much you want to.
Well, okay. So I took a class when before I had ever had a book published. I was trying to write Naked Addiction, my very first book that I ever wrote. It was the fourth book that I ever got published. It's the prequel to this series. The professor, teacher, instructor was Alan Russell, and he's written, just as many books as I have. And basically, he drilled into us that these kind of stories, these detective stories, murder mysteries, whatever you want to call them, there's all different forms. There's thrillers, suspense novels, police procedurals. There's all just these different subgenres. You want to have a detective with a professional storyline and a personal storyline. Mm-hmm. Now, my series is a little more complicated because I have two main characters.
Yeah.
Most books only have one, but I really wanted them to play off each other, and I still, people seem to really like that. Mm-hmm. But in this case, this book is focused on Katrina's backstory and her personal journey, much, and Goode is there to come along for the ride, essentially, to help her. His main story is in Naked Addiction, and I didn't want to repeat that since it's already in print. So basically, as we know, we've already discussed, they're both orphans, but we don't know anything more about the relationship between Katrina's parents because she didn't really know. Her mother, as you get in the prologue, which is from her father's point of view, right before they're both shot, he's so in love with his wife, and it kind of tells the story of how they got together and how she got pregnant, apparently while they were dating, and it just all moved so fast. But she still had this wall up in some way, and Vincent Petrell, turns out, used to date the mom back in law school when they were all three in law school together. And Vincent Petrell even mentions that to Katrina in Hooked when they first meet. He tries to hire her to look for his son, Alex, that I mentioned, who had been in treatment with her brother. And so this book picks up that thread and goes deeper and deeper into the relationship between Katrina's mother and father. And also you start finding out that Vincent actually was much more involved in that situation than she had ever known. And apparently more than her father had ever known. And going through these diaries, she starts learning all kinds of things about her parents' marriage and what was really going on. And then she finds a calendar for both of them, and she finds some cards from her father's clerk. So there were some things going on both sides. And anyway, she digs into the storage stuff and starts finding all this stuff. But she's going to use that to see, it doesn't look like the police department ever followed any of these leads, more personal leads. Never did a warrant for any of the materials that she has there in her own hands. The police never showed any interest in taking this case any deeper than they did. I guess it turns out that the police were looking more in the dockets of both of these judges to look for defendants who were pissed off, which is that's typical. I mean, that's expected, but they didn't go any further than that as far as she can tell, and as far as Goode can tell when he gets access to the files. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. But it gets more and more. And then there's another whole thing that happens in this book that I found really fun and interesting to write that has to do with genetic genealogy.
I was just going to bring that up. Right.
And some surprises that come up with that. Katrina, in order to try to find a story to take her away from having to report on this sexy homicide detective so she can actually go on a date with him, she comes up with this idea. And that is, I'm going to, send off my DNA to these genetic genealogy websites, and I'm going to see what's going on in my history, my ancestral history. That'll be a fun story. That won't involve anything personal. It'll just be a fun thing to get me away from my conflict of interest so I can go out on a date with this guy. Well, it turns out that it becomes very personal, and it kind of blows her whole world up. And it's sort of tied into her whole other investigation into her parents and everything. And so all this stuff comes out that she then has to process. And it's pretty overwhelming, I think it would be for somebody going through that, where you suddenly realize that everything you ever thought about your life wasn't really true. And I have that same kind of situation with, as a matter of fact, so I pulled this from my own experience.
Okay.
My husband did not have good credit.
Okay.
And I knew that when I married him, but he never told me the truth about a lot of things. He lied about a lot of things, as alcoholics do. And so he asked me, would I rent a storage unit in my name? And because he couldn't do it because of his credit. So I did. And he moved all of his stuff in there that he had brought down with him from the Bay Area when he had moved from that area. And I think he had some stuff sent down. Anyway, I was then stuck with a whole storage unit full of his stuff and his history after he died, after he killed himself. And I would spend 5 minutes in there and just burst into tears. I couldn't even be in there. And I'm having to pay this storage fee every month, which really stuck in my craw. But I finally started going in there, and I started going through boxes, and I found letters, and I found photos of things that I never wanted to see, and all kinds of stuff came out. I kind of went through that myself.
Yeah.
When you start finding things, and there was 2 locked briefcases, and my mom sat there. There were those little ones with the wheels with the numbers, and she just sat there and did every little permutation until she finally got them open.
Really?
And there was stuff that he was hiding from me in there. So it was documents, police reports, and all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so I know what that's like. So I drew from those emotions and that experience, and I gave them to my character. And so, yes, that was cathartic.
Wow. Wow.
I've had a lot of stuff happen to me in my life. I got many novels in me that I can get all of this out.
I'm so sorry. I mean,
okay. It's I use it all. That's what I always say. Hey, if something happens to me, I'll just put it in a book.
I guess.
Right?
Right. But I mean that. All right, maybe it's too personal of a question. If it is, stop me.
Well, I've kind of spilled a lot already.
No, I know. I hear you. But
go ahead.
When you run across something like that, when you delve into a storage like that, and you discover that kind of documentation and things like that, and that person's gone, you can't confront
There's nothing you can do except just go, oh, it would have been nice to know.
I mean,
and it just made me more angry. I mean, okay. It was kind of interesting though. Like I found a letter that he had applied to the CIA. I was just like, what? It's bizarre.
Is there shock? Is there betrayal? Is there anger? Is there forgiveness?
Lies. oh yeah, a lot of lies. That's why my memoir is called Secrets, Lies, and Shoelaces.
Okay.
And the shoelaces do not have anything to do with the hanging. The shoelaces are that it was difficult for me to throw away things in his belongings that were never used. Like there were these packages of shoelaces that had never been opened and they were, brand new. And I'm like, should I just throw that away? That seems really wasteful, but who's going to use it? They were for dress shoes. They're men's dress shoes. What am I going to do with those? But I had a really hard time separating and just throwing perfectly good stuff away. So anyway, that's where the title came from. But
it's a good title.
Yeah. So, going through storage and boxes of your dead loved ones, especially when you've had a troubled history with them, brings up a lot of emotions. And it's a great thing to fuel a novel or part of a novel.
Did any therapist ever sit down with you and tell you how to reconcile it or how to?
No, I didn't really talk about that with anybody, but
okay.
That I remember. No, I went to Al-Anon meetings. That's actually was the most helpful for me after my husband died, because those were all women, mostly women, who had been through something similar, and talking to them still helps me. Some of the things they told me still help me today.
Good. Because,
there are certain patterns that we get into and certain things, when you have alcoholism in your family, sometimes you just keep repeating that because it's part of what you're used to. Right. Yeah. So,
yeah.
Anyway.
Well, I only ask that out of concern. That's all. It's, sometimes you can carry that.
Don't worry. I'm okay.
Good. Okay. Good. Because it can be therapeutic. Like you said, if I've got plenty of books in me, I've got plenty to put out on the page. And that's a lot of times it's therapeutic. You can get it out that way. But a lot of times, like you said, you can talk it out in meetings and you can get it out in meetings as well. And
we'll just talk about it on podcasts.
There you go. Talk about it here. You can get it out here as well.
I think people have to wonder when they see a lot of my books have suicide and addiction in them. What's up with that? Well, that's what's up with that.
Yeah. And that's right. It's a perfectly acceptable way to get it out as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. You use what you have. You write about what you know.
That's right.
And you should, because why write about stuff you don't know? Because it doesn't come off as authentic. So, right now, for example, I'm thinking about my next book, and I'm thinking about writing some child sociopath characters.
Oh, wow.
I know. I was a psychology major at Berkeley. I have a degree in that, and I'm pretty interested in this stuff. And I've written a lot of true crime books about people who are probably considered sociopaths or psychopaths. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about children. What were they really like as children? So I'm kind of learning about that, and I'm thinking to myself, can I really stomach writing this? So I have to do research before I even start plotting. So it's kind of fun because a lot of times these novels I'm pulling out of my own experience. I don't really need to do much research. It's kind of good to get back to the research because as a true crime writer, I love doing the research, but these are novels, so they need to be based in truth so that they have, so they read in they're authentic and genuine and have verisimilitude. But you don't want them to read like a textbook. You want them to be stories, compelling character studies, right? So that's what I'm doing now. And it's a pretty dark subject. It's even dark for me, right? I'm not even sure I'm going to be able to do it, but that's my idea that I'm looking at right now. And I enjoy it. Well, what can I say?
It's almost like a character.
And that's not therapeutic because that has nothing to do. I've never been with a sociopath that I know of.
Well, so. Yeah. Well, and it's like a character actor, right? You have to go to that place in order to translate it to the page. So
like I said, I have written about sociopaths before.
Yeah.
So,
but this is completely different.
And I've interviewed them face to face.
Yeah.
So it's not like I have no experience.
Right. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying
I wasn't saying you were saying that. I'm just saying for me, I said that I didn't have anything personal. And in fact, I'm thinking about it. I actually do. So that's all. I was correcting myself.
But to take a child sociopath and to try and translate that's a totally
and probably more than one.
Yeah, that's a totally
and then I'm thinking deal. Lord of the Flies kind of a book, and I'm like, that book really disturbed me. I can't handle that. So I'm just trying to think, what can I handle that people will want to read that'll be intriguing? So that's where I am.
But hey, kudos to you if you want to tackle it and get into it. I know you'll do a bang up job of it. So yeah.
Bang up job. That's what I try to do. That's my goal, the bang up job.
That's right, a bang up job of it. So yeah, no, I know you will. I know you will. So I lightened up on the compliment. I didn't say you'll become the child psycho. I didn't say that. So I could have said you'll become the child psycho. But
well, I don't know if you know this, but apparently a majority of the CEOs today are sociopaths.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
Because they're successful and charming and manipulative, and people actually like them, and they don't have that conscience to hold them back like some of the rest of us do. Like, oh, am I going to hurt somebody's feelings if I step on them to get ahead? These guys are like, no, plow ahead.
They have to be the shark in the water, and that's what people don't realize. Yeah, they have to be the shark in the water, but at the same time, they have to be able to network. So yeah, they do have to be that sociopath. Yeah, completely.
So I'm trying to kind of get my head around all that.
Yeah, and that's hard for a lot of people to go to that place. It's Yes, and I was thinking back to this other book that I wrote called Body Parts, which was about a serial killer, and he was a very messed up guy, very complicated guy. I think we did a podcast on that book. Wayne Adam Ford, lots of issues, a head injury, plus a bunch of stuff he was just born with, environmental stuff in his family, mental illness, all kinds of stuff, alcoholism, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so, I did a whole book on him. So I learned a lot from that book. And then, there've been others that I've written about, other serial killers. And sometimes it's really, even now I'm learning I got some books from the library that, and doing some research online, that there are different genes, not just one gene, but there are different genes. And then there's the environmental factors of what your family situation is like, or what other traumas you might have been exposed to. So there's like a whole array of components to producing a sociopath, which is pretty fascinating to learn about. Honestly, that's what, this is what makes me tick, I guess. I think it's a little, it's not for everyone, but it's what I like, I guess. So it's the dissection of the personality I find the most.
Human condition. Yeah. All these different aspects of the human condition.
Yeah, most definitely, Caitlin. Yeah, I'm right there with you. There's nothing more fascinating to me than taking apart something and seeing how it ticks. Yeah.
And then you kind of go, oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. and then you're like, you know what? If we can just put that back together again and I'll just back out slowly, then we're good to go. Right? It's no harm, no foul. But yeah, there's that. But this book is amazing. Staged is an amazing read. I think people should go get it right now. Caitlin's holding it up right there as we speak. And
then here's book one, Hooked. So you read this one and then this one, and then if you want, read Naked Addiction too.
That's right. So you get the full
There's
picture.
Some people who say read it in order, but you can read each of them as standalones as well.
I think that's a good idea. Yeah. If you read Naked Addiction, so you get the idea, because actually Staged refers to that case, as you mentioned, in Naked Addiction. So that is a good idea. Yeah. Start with Naked Addiction, then read Hooked, and then read Staged. And then you've got your complete summer reading right there. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Excellent. Caitlin Rother, I want to thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a wonderful visit as always.
Thank you so much for having me back. And hopefully I will have more books for you very soon.
Yes.
Coming off the transom.
Yes, because there's more to come, actually.
There's more to come. Yeah. Yes. Hopefully books 3 and 4, and then a whole new series that I've got going. So we'll fingers crossed.
There you go. So Caitlin, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much, too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Folks, it's time now for us to switch gears. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time again. Time you've all been looking forward to. It's time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals. And with that, I need a co-hostess. So, I use my mental powers, and I summon with all my might one who is mighty indeed, one who manages to break charts worldwide. But there's one area of the world in particular where one cowers in fear. He goes by the name of Binder. Yes, as a matter of fact, if you just mention to him, by the way, he compiles the Hindustan Times charts, and if you mention to him that this particular person has a book coming out, he prays to his gods. He summons his minions. He says to them, it's time to get to work. It's time for us to be ready for the coming onslaught. It's time for us, gentlemen, to kiss our wives goodbye, pat our kids on the heads, and prepare to skip many, many meals, for we dedicate our lives now to watching charts be dominated by the one, the only, Jessica Freeberg. Here she is.
Oh, goodness. Hey, Timmy.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I'm a little sore. You know, I took a big spill this weekend.
That's what I
told you.
Yeah. Are you all right?
I'm okay. If I look a little funny in the video, I'm adjusting myself periodically, so I feel like I kind of broke my butt. And I thought I scared my boob. Like, I was just a wreck. My dog yanked me off the front porch, and I went flying into, like, the garden where the metal things are to keep the bunnies out.
Yeah?
And I landed on one really hard.
Oh.
I thought, this is it.
Now, when you first told me that, I was imagining that it was Phoebe Buffay who did all this damage, but it wasn't.
It was Winston.
It was Winston.
Freaking Winston Churchill. He's a maniac.
Yeah. I was going to say, geez, what kind of steroids are you feeding Phoebe? But that wasn't the case at all. No.
No, she doesn't care to chase people. She will bark at people and bite at people, but she won't chase anyone. That's too much work.
Yeah.
But Winston loves everyone, so he just wanted to go say hi. But I think I was a good dog mom because I hung on to that leash.
Yeah.
And I never let it go. Even when I stood up and I was, you know, all bruised and broken and crying, I still had that leash in my hand.
I have a little song for you, though. Let it go, let it go. Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have got hurt if I just let it go.
Yeah, you would have been fine. Yeah.
The ring camera footage is pretty, though. Just flying through the air.
Oh, no, Jess.
It's so bad. I told my husband, I'm like, I feel bad laughing at those videos that you see on like America's Funniest Home Videos because, you know, those people were hurting after they fell down or went flying through the air.
Oh.
I
mean,
so yeah.
I'm glad you can laugh. I'm not laughing. I mean, but I'm glad you can laugh.
You're not. It was funny though.
It's horrible.
Just imagine me standing there, all innocent, being such a good dog mom, taking him on a walk, and all of a sudden I'm just flying through the frickin' air like Supergirl.
Wow. Oh, speaking of, I do have a little bit of a story for you before we start about Supergirl. As a matter of fact,
I'm excited about Supergirl.
I am too. I'm looking forward to the movie, but you know, one asshole who's commented negatively about her.
What? I love her.
I know, is a former Superman himself, Dean Cain.
What does he have bad to say about her? She's adorable.
Evidently, he doesn't think so.
Who asked him?
Right. Are you ready for this story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
It's ironic that you bring her up today. I was trying to figure out how I worked this story in, but actor Dean Cain is facing backlash for a comment he recently made about Supergirl star Millie Alcock. After all, 59-year-old Dean Cain portrayed the Man of Steel on TV's Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, which if I had to rank it in the pantheon of Superman shows, is probably the worst.
Yeah, I didn't even bother watching it, but
it aired for all of 4 seasons between 1993 and 1997. He posted a photo of 26-year-old Alcock, suited up and with pierced ears, Sunday on X, captioned, "Wait, if Supergirl's skin is bulletproof, how does she have ear piercings?"
Oh, for heaven's
Okay,
sake, Dean.
genius,
Come on.
Red Sun. That's all you get, right? I mean, this guy supposedly played Superman for 4 years. He never studied the character. Red Sun. Just go to a planet with red sun. Your powers diminish. You can put a needle through your ear and pierce your ear.
Away.
That's right.
You can pierce your ears. You can pierce your belly button. You can pierce your nipples. You can pierce anything you want.
Here's where he got a little smarmy, and we need to smack him back into place, Jess.
Let's do it. What do you say?
Someone else then commented, and why does she look like this guy with a photo of Land of the Lost character Chaka, who resembles an ape?
Oh, stop it.
Kane was then amused. He thought that was funny. Dang it, Kane wrote. I laughed. That's what Kane said.
That's not classy.
A user then typed, Millie Alcock isn't ugly. They just put out terrible pictures of her, which I'll agree that she's a beautiful girl. She really is. But there's some unflattering pictures of her out there.
You know, we all have our moments. Nobody looks beautiful or handsome all the time.
Right. Kane insisted that he hadn't said she was ugly. Just that particular picture was not good. Well,
oh, come on.
Well, come on. Still, hundreds of Reddit users didn't approve of Kane speaking about Alcock's appearance. She is like the most conventionally attractive woman ever. We can't win, one Reddit user posted. Another replied, I still remember when these chuds used to call Sydney Sweeney a mid chick with big tits. That's what I know. We're not in not safe for work territory, but that's the quote. Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah. Although, okay, if I have to weigh in on this one, great body on Sydney Sweeney, but her face isn't the greatest.
We're all beautiful, Tim.
She's a wonderful actress. I was enthralled with her in Euphoria. I really was. But
yeah,
not my first pick. Then they found out she was, and it has nothing to do with her political beliefs. This is a quote from the person on Reddit. She said, then they found out she was MAGA, and suddenly they started acting like she was the most beautiful woman in the world. I don't care what her political beliefs are. I just think that there's something weird about, I just think there's something weird about her facial symmetry is what it is. Lots of men were also saying similar things about Sweeney, calling her mid and a butterface, etc.
Oh, no.
Even Margot Robbie has been called mid by men online. Those men are Stevie Wonder and the former Ray Charles, I think, because there's nothing wrong with Margot Robbie.
I think we're just all attracted to different looks.
I think so.
I think we just actually probably process the way people look differently.
Yeah, I think you're
right. Yeah, because Margot Robbie, come on.
Yeah.
There's zero wrong with her.
No, if you find something wrong with Margot Robbie, you are the biggest narcissist on the problem.
Yeah, there's literally no one who's attractive enough for you.
Right. Yeah. You might as well just go in a corner with your hand and call it a life.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that's the problem.
I think so.
No one's as pretty as their mom.
That's a good
who they have a big picture of in the corner.
That's right. Yeah. They're definitely a mama's boy. That's for sure.
Yeah. I hate it when people judge people based on their looks, though. It's like, come on, they're all beautiful in their own ways. They're all, different looking. And I love that. How boring if we all looked the same.
Oh, don't get me wrong. As far as Sydney Sweeney goes, I watched plenty of that second or third to the last episode where she had nothing on. I didn't fast forward through the episode. Don't get me wrong.
Why would you? No.
Yeah, no.
Probably paused it.
Maybe once or twice or three times. But
Played it in slow-mo.
yeah, I probably did that as well. You got to get a good look. It's art. You got to get a good look at it. But
Exactly, it's art.
Yeah. By the way, Supergirl opens June 26th. So it's coming up right around the corner.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. And I love her as an actress. I loved her in Sirens. Like, I just think she's good.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the movie as well. Jason Momoa's in it as Lobo. So that'll be fun too. Yeah. Looks good. So, and there's a rumor that David Cornsweet may be back as well as Superman. So
Ooh.
in this little deal. So you might see Supergirl's cousin in the deal as well. So yeah, Dean Cain, go to hell. I'm sorry. Did I don't know. I had a little something in my throat. Got to get that out before we start today's show.
A little tickle.
Yeah. So, all right. For our first story today. Now we're finally into this deal here. First story today. I know it took long enough, right? We're done with Dean Cain. We're done with Butterfaces. We're done with all that other stuff. We're done judging. We're done being Judgy McJudgertons. Or are we? No, kidding.
Probably not.
Probably not. No. Well, we can be a Judgy McJudgerton about this next story. We're going to start it off hot and heavy. By the way, Jess, I think you'll be pleased with this newscast today.
Yeah.
Just one not safe for work story.
I'm so impressed with us.
I know. We're turning over a new leaf.
We're becoming clean family programming.
No, well, no. I mean, as clean as crime programming can be. Yeah.
Listen with your kids. Listen with your grandma.
Yeah. Bring grandma to the listening device. Grandma, I got a good wholesome program having to do with assault and murder. And
I feel like grandma's favorite would be not safe for work.
Yeah. She did what with the wine bottle?
Well, I didn't even know you could do that with the wine bottle.
And it was named Cupcake. Yeah. My grandma had a cheeky sense of humor. My grandma Dennis did.
Oh, golly. My grandma Tootsie, she was hilarious.
Yeah. My grandma had an odd sense of humor, that's for sure. I shouldn't say odd. It was very, she had a pretty rich sense of humor. So, yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Rest in peace, Grandma. I think you would have liked this not safe for work part. Except for when I go a little overboard. Then I would have got a Timothy. Yeah. God, I can hear that now, actually. Grandma would have been proud of today's show. I digress. Let's move on. A Claremont man, we're going to Florida to begin with here, Jess. A Claremont man is accused of pulling knives on teens over a go-kart noise, deputies say. We're right in the middle of summer. I shouldn't say right in the middle. We haven't actually technically got to summer yet. We're right at the end of spring.
Right.
And I don't know if I've ever told you this before, Jess, but I have these kids that live across the street and one house over. Yeah. I think this is the summer that I'm going to call Child Protective Services because all they do is scream their heads off like they're being tortured.
Really?
I think I'm going to find out this year if they're truly being tortured or not.
How old are they roughly?
Are
they like under 10?
Yeah, I think they're under 10. They're probably about 8 to 10, somewhere in there. Yeah.
They're probably just having fun.
Well, I don't know, because there's times they yell stuff that sound like it's out of a satanic novel.
Like, help me?
Oh, more than that. Like, I'm going to banish you to the pits of hell. I'll hear stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, where do you get stuff like that if you're like 8, right? It's like, you know what? I'm going to send over CPS just to see.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
Well, my kids used to play Hunger Games in our backyard when they were pretty little, and the whole neighborhood, and then eventually kids from all over town started showing up. Their parents would call and they'd be like, so my son wants to come over and play Hunger Games. Like, what is that? And I'm like, well, have you seen the movie? They're like, yeah. I'm like, the kids are killing each other? They're like, yeah. I'm like, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, killing each other.
They're like, are you supervising? I'm like, no, I'm drinking wine.
Yeah, as you
in my living room.
Yeah. and watching them kill each other. So that'll be fun.
It's cute. They use like Nerf stuff, like, and then they would like send in the supplies, and you would hear them making the beeping sound as the, supplies came in, and they were working together.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it sounded really weird.
Could be, yeah. Actually, that sounds pretty entertaining. I would have came over for a glass of wine just to watch all that.
And I think it's important to note, when I told the parents, they're just killing each other back there. They sent their kid over anyway, so.
Right on.
I'm like, okay.
Because in the end, your kid's either a victor or carnage. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So my guess is that the neighbor kids are probably doing something imaginative, and they're,
I'll record
hard to
it.
say that.
I'll record it.
Yeah,
and
I want to
send it
know.
you. Yeah, and then you tell me, Jess. As former Governor Ventura would say, you tell me, Jess. Because I think you'll
We
be.
got like the two polar opposite worlds in your neighborhood. That we've got you over there, your little Cinderella outside, feeding your squirrels and birds and singing your songs.
Oh, today it was a party. I've got the wildlife cam set up now. Because I've got the one dish on the porch, and it is a community dish, truly a community dish now. I've got everyone from Arnold out there to Steeler was out there today, the bird, to the fancy pigeons, which is what I call the mourning doves. Yeah, everybody was out there using the same dish today.
I love that.
Community dish. So, and I've got video of it all. Yeah. Got them all.
I want to see it.
Yeah. Got them. I'll show you after the show here. But then, you're right. It's kind of, it's all peace and love out there on my front porch.
Yeah.
And then the beauty of it all is broken by this squall of Satan's going to come up and wring your ass with a huge pitchfork. And that's what I hear. Yeah. While I'm sitting.
I feel like those would be my kids.
Yeah, that's what I hear all summer long. And I don't. Aww. Yeah. I mean, and I don't know whether I should send help or maybe go over there myself. I don't introduce myself, maybe bring treats. I don't know,
No, put on a red outfit, like a red leotard, red tights.
Oh, yeah.
Well, go over with a little pitchfork and be like, you called.
You rang. I'm here.
I'm going to cry.
So I hear one of you wants to go to hell, do you? I'm here to personally escort you.
Oh, I love it.
Watch the kids end up having an aneurysm just looking at me.
On the next Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, I'm just by myself talking about you.
That's right. And reading an entire docket about me. Turns out, octogenarian Tim Dennis is over there with a pitchfork.
Terrorizing the children.
That's right. So this guy, I think, did the same thing. This Claremont man is accused of. He just lost it over go-kart noises.
Oh gosh.
Now, do you have the people who drive in your neighborhood, like with their sound up too loud, and they've got the windows closed, and it goes?
Yeah.
In their vehicle.
Definitely heard that a time or two. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's going on now in our neighborhood too. It's just all day long.
Well, and all of the like electric motorized bikes and things that the kids have now, it's crazy. And they ride them on the sidewalk. So it's like, no, if you're going 30 miles an hour in a little moped, you need to be on the street.
Right. Yeah. Take it to the street, kid.
Yeah.
Don't hit grandma on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Leave that for the walkers. Deputy said the man, by the way, who was pulling out knives on the kids is accused of attacking teens with a meat cleaver and a chef's knife.
Oh, my.
He bought the full package from Cutco, which is nice to see. Some people just skimp and get the 6-piece knife. He got the entire deal.
I have so many vegetable peelers from there.
From Cutco? Was it because it was the cheapest deal?
Yeah, at first, but then I realized they're just good.
They are.
I mean,
Yeah.
so then I had like the good Cutco one, and then I had like my old one, and then I had a couple old ones in the Cutco, and the girls would be all upset and fighting over the good ones. So then I just had to buy more. But
Yeah. Oh, well, you gotta split them up evenly.
yeah,
Claremont man is accused of threatening 2 teenagers with a meat cleaver and a chef-style knife after becoming frustrated by the sound of their go-karts. According to the Lake County Sheriff's Office, we're going to Lake County, Florida. Deputies arrested 60-year-old Richard Carter after responding to reports that he confronted 2 teens who were working on a go-kart in a neighborhood garage. According to an arrest report, the teenagers were revving the engine while turning the carburetor when they heard a neighbor cussing them out. The fact that they could hear that over turning the carburetor is pretty impressive.
yeah,
Yeah.
he must have been really loud.
Yeah. They told deputies Carter became angry, threw a lawn chair across the driveway, and yelled at them to get the blank out of his neighborhood.
Wait, but they're in their garage, so it's kind of their neighborhood too.
Right. I mean, they're in their yard, in their garage. Maybe he should get the blank out of their yard. Right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's got it backwards. The teen said they attempted to calm Carter down, but he remained irate. Investigators say the confrontation escalated when Carter grabbed 2 large knives, described by deputies as a large chef-style knife and a large meat cleaver. Body camera video obtained by Channel 9 captured Carter acknowledging that he had grabbed the weapons. I grabbed the first thing. I grabbed... Is that really what I...
What does it say?
He said, I grabbed, goddamn, that wasn't nothing. Carter told deputies.
Wow.
Yeah. He was, I grabbed,
Goddamn.
Goddamn. Moments later, Carter admitted he considered grabbing a wrench.
I mean, that probably would have been a better choice.
Well, he could have helped fix the carburetor at that point.
Yeah, if you had to grab something, grab a tool.
Yeah, grab
Not
a tool.
Freaking meat cleaver.
Yeah, meat cleaver isn't going to help fix carburetor. The deputy asked why, and Carter said, I don't know, I'm mad.
Oh.
Aw. He's like, I don't know.
Like a toddler.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, I'm mad. According to the arrest report, one teen told deputies Carter held the meat cleaver near their heads and threatened to bash their heads in if they started the go-kart again.
Oh my gosh. That's so scary.
He's a great guy. He's a community leader, I guess. One of the teens reportedly dropped to his knees and begged Carter not to hurt them, while the other raised his hands and backed away. When deputies questioned Carter about the incident again, he denied wrongdoing. I didn't do anything, Carter said. Well, Richard, you just said that you went and picked up the first thing you could get out of anger when you confronted them, and it was a knife, Richard. The deputy responded. He kept using his name, Richard.
It's like he's talking to a toddler.
That's right. Richard, what did we do wrong? We went and got Richard. What did we go and get? Richard. We went and got a what? We went and got a cleaver, Richard. Didn't we, Richard? Deputies told Carter he should have contacted law enforcement instead of confronting the teens with weapons. Listen, I get the nuisance and it can be irritating, but Richard, call us, Richard. A deputy said on body camera footage. Don't let your anger get the best of you, because now look at you, Richard. Now look at you. The 60-year-old now faces 2 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He bailed out earlier this week and is expected back in court July 6th for arraignment. Court records show that Carter was charged in 2021 for pulling a gun out on a driver.
Dang.
So he's gotten less violent?
I don't know. I think they're equal degrees of violence.
I don't know.
Both of them can equally kill you, Tim.
Well, takes a little less effort with the gun than it does with the cleaver.
That's true, but you'll be just as dead.
True. Prosecutors dropped the charges on that gun, however, after he completed a pretrial diversion program.
Well, it didn't work.
It didn't. No. Short-lived, that's for sure.
Wow, that's some serious anger management issues. And what's scary with people like that is he really doesn't think he did anything wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So he's legit just going to do something like that again.
He's defending the neighborhood, Jess. Yeah. Someone's got to stand up for the neighborhood.
Oh, damn.
Goddamn. I'm here to make sure that gets turned off. Much like my sex life. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Richard.
Richard. They call him Dick for short, you know. I got to give myself one of these. Oh, no, I don't have that up. That's what she said.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Well, here, I can do it now. Yeah.
Well, you don't want to call him that to his face, Tim, because
you don't
he'll get out a meat cleaver.
You know what they say? They say Father's Day starts at Dick's. Yeah. I mean, wait. There you go. Father's Day starts at Dick's. Much like life starts at conception. Thank you very much. Okay, suspected hit-and-run driver is found eating watermelon out of a stranger's fridge. I want to thank
what a day.
Yeah, I want to thank Jana for sending this one in. So, yeah. We go to Denver, Colorado, where a suspect in a DUI wrong-way crash was arrested after allegedly fleeing to a nearby home and was found eating watermelon from a stranger's fridge in Lone Tree. We all get the munchies.
Yeah, they were hungry.
Yeah. On June 2nd, around 10 a.m., yes, this happened in the morning.
Holy smokes.
It's never too early to be drunk, right? Well, unless you're an alcoholic. Then, you know.
Well, then any time's a good time, I suppose.
That's right. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere. The Lone Tree Police Department said it responded to a hit-and-run crash with a wrong-way driver on Lincoln Avenue. Police were able to track down the suspect, but he wasn't necessarily hiding. A witness reported seeing the suspect hit another vehicle and drive off. Police said the suspect drove to a home and went inside. At first, police said the homeowner thought it was a worker who was driving construction on their home. That is until they heard the fridge open. Then, of course, it wasn't a worker. The homeowner called police and officers arrested an unarmed suspect. Body camera footage shows a man being arrested inside a kitchen with a bowl of watermelon next to him. Oh, it's a bowl of watermelon. How fancy.
Oh, it's like they put it there for him.
Yeah. During the investigation, police said the driver was under the influence. A preliminary breath test determined a blood alcohol content of 0.122. So he was above, but not impressively above.
We've seen worse.
Right. We've definitely seen worse. The suspect was taken into custody, sent to the Douglas County Jail. Police said he's facing charges of felony trespassing, driving under the influence, careless driving, failure to report an accident, and leaving the scene of an accident. So, not to mention just egregious eating. I think that's probably one of the charges here. Yeah. And but a good choice. I'll give him this. A good healthy food choice.
Really? And if you've been drinking, you get it's watery. So it's almost like, flushing out your system of the alcohol.
You're rehydrating. You're getting
exactly
essential carbohydrates. You're not getting empty carbs.
That's right.
I commend him for the choice.
All in all, a good choice. Well done, sir.
And following the food pyramid. I like that. I like that. If I would have rather he get a little protein with the carbs, but
yeah. I think on his food pyramid, though, the alcohol is making the base of it. And then it's all the other stuff.
Yeah, but the grain from the alcohol really is still falling in the carb
I guess
section.
you're right. It's grain.
He's carb stacking. And
I can't fault this guy for anything right now. I don't know that he's done anything wrong.
I would have rather seen some protein there to kind of stack on top of the alcohol to kind of help him fight that .122 he's working with.
He just needed a turkey leg or something. That's it. Then he would have had a perfectly well-rounded breakfast, I
Right.
guess.
Yeah.
Since it's 10 a.m.
But the watermelon, good choice. I'll give him that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kudos, sir.
That's right. All right. Let's see, where are we at here? Oh, this is an interesting story here. Central Florida man, again, we're in Florida. We're going back to Florida here. Central Florida man is arrested after impersonating. Now, when I say impersonating, automatically you think we should go right to
Elvis.
Okay, no. If you're on the side of the road, you're not impersonating Elvis, Jess.
Oh, okay. Maybe a police officer.
There
then.
you go. Yes, impersonating a police officer. No, although Elvis is a close second.
I like my version better.
Yeah, I like yours better too. Yeah, impersonating Elvis. Yes, I'll take that. I'll take that as well. No, impersonating, but that would be a close second. What would be the third choice in this?
On the side of the road?
Yes. What would be the third choice if you're on the side of the road? You would want to impersonate what if you were pulled over by the cops? Elvis is a good one to try and get out of a ticket.
I want to say Santa Claus, but I know that's wrong.
Oh,
so.
but that's close as well.
Is it?
You don't want to give me a ticket, man. That's a good one. Yeah. I just want to be your teddy bear.
Maybe you could impersonate tow truck driver, even though you're driving a Jetta.
A tow truck driver, yes. I will tow myself. Thank you very much. No, a Central Florida man arrested after he impersonated a lawyer at a traffic stop.
Oh, okay.
Although, how is that going to get you out of a ticket?
I think they're just going to give you a bigger ticket. Like, a lot of people don't. I like lawyers, but not everyone feels the same way.
It's like, you don't have to take me to court because we're already here. I'm a barrister. I will fight this right here. 30-year-old Derek Shelfus is facing the charge of obstruction by a disguised person. That sounds like a Hall & Oates album. Obstruction by a disguised person. Huh?
Was he wearing something to like complete the impersonation? Because, you know, if you're Elvis, you got the whole jumpsuit on.
Yeah.
That's all bedazzled. If you're Santa Claus, you got the, you know, Santa suit. What are you wearing as a lawyer? Just a
Three-piece
suit and tie?
three-piece suit, maybe?
Yeah.
A smart vest along with the suit? I don't know.
Smart vest.
Yeah.
A little bow tie.
Little bow tie, yeah. We go to Brevard County, Florida, where a Palm Bay man has been arrested after he showed up to a traffic stop and pretended to be the driver's lawyer. Oh, he came in for the driver. Okay.
Oh, gotcha.
Right.
He inserted himself into the situation.
Well, he inserted himself somewhere. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Seems like a bad idea.
That's a terrible idea. Just to show up and go, excuse me, I'm this man's lawyer. Prove it. Excuse me, I'll be leaving. In an arrest warrant affidavit, deputies said the traffic stop happened back in April along Interstate 95 shortly before 3 a.m. The quote here is, during the stop, a controlled substance was located within the vehicle and in the driver's purse, the affidavit reads. After advising the driver of their Miranda rights and beginning a post-Miranda interview, the defendant arrived on the scene. The defendant, later identified as 30-year-old Derek Shelfus, came up to the stop and was identified by the driver as her attorney, the deputies explained. They also said that the driver refused to speak with the responding deputy any longer, instead referring to him as her lawyer.
Huh.
So, I refuse to talk to you. You talk to my lawyer. And they're like, okay, well, let's speak to the lawyer then. And he's like, I refuse to speak to you. I'm not a lawyer. What a confusing situation.
Very strange.
In fact, Shelfus had shown up wearing a full suit and tie, asking about legal procedures, the existence of probable cause, and even trying to negotiate a deal for the driver.
Wow, he went all in.
Probably a bad thing to do on the side of the road.
I mean, how did he just have that handy? Was he just happen to be wearing the three-piece suit? Like, how did he get there so quickly when she was still on the side of the road? Huh?
Maybe he keeps it in his car. I don't know.
He just drives around pretending to be a lawyer all day, I think.
Much like Bruce
Just in
Wayne.
case.
Bruce Wayne keeps a bat suit in the Batmobile, and maybe he keeps one, keeps a suit in his car.
It's very strange.
Per investigators, Shelfus claimed to be bar certified and licensed to practice in both Florida and Georgia. Florida-Georgia line, get it? But when asked for proof, he said he didn't have any documentation with him. Trust me, bro, I'm a lawyer. A check of the vehicle's information confirmed that Shelfus was not, in fact, an attorney, though it did show that he had been arrested last year on a charge of DUI, so he's guilty of driving under the influence. So he does know how to defend the charge, but he's not. No. The quote here is, I asked the driver how she knew Shelfus, and she advised that it was through a friend. The affidavit continues. She had spoken with him in the past, and he had told her he was a lawyer. She felt she needed a lawyer during the traffic stop, so she called him to contract his services. As a result of
this was like his pickup line, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to get her in the sack.
That's right. He's like, I'm a lawyer. And she's like, really? And she's like, I need you now. And he's like, oh, I bet you do. Wink, wink.
No.
Then he shows up on the side of the road and he's like, are we going to do it here? Or, oh, you're really being arrested. Oh, shoot. As a result of the incident, by the way, Shelfus was arrested this month and now faces charges of obstruction by a disguised person and practicing law without a license. Meanwhile, that's a big mistake. Meanwhile, body camera footage of the traffic stop has been obtained by News 6 and can be found top of the story I'm looking at. I don't know that you really want to watch it. If you do, if you want to see this guy get busted for being a lawyer, I will post it. It's
silly.
It's kind of funny. You always get the surprised look, like, oh, how dare you accuse me of not being a lawyer when I'm not a lawyer? It's always funny. Speaking of not being, a Louisiana sheriff gives a gator the Deputy of the Year award for stopping a DUI suspect with its teeth.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, would you think that a gator is really the Deputy of the Year?
Everyone else must have been really bad.
Yeah.
I can't give it to Bo because he done shot his foot off.
That's right.
I can't give it to Sally.
And Jack done slept through most of his shifts.
Gonna have to give it to the gator.
Got to give it to the gator. He did get that one suspect with his teeth first. Boy, this is the second time gators come up today. Came up with our guest, Royce Wilson, today about how deadly a gator's teeth are. Just like being stabbed. But with
I think it's a sign, Tim. You're supposed to get one as a pet.
No, I will not. They'll kill all my chipmunks.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, they'll eat them for breakfast. Here's a story that's so Louisiana, we'd be surprised if you won't see the scene in the inevitable remake of The Waterboy. A man suspected of driving while impaired was attacked by an alligator attempting to flee police in Louisiana, according to local and state authorities. An alligator attacks a DWI suspect who was fleeing police, according to Louisiana authorities. A man suspected of driving while impaired was attacked by an alligator after attempting to flee police. Here's what he looks like, Jess. By the way, he does kind of look like a little like Bobby Boucher. There he is right there.
Oh, sure does.
Yeah. He's like, Alligator gonna come and get me? Right? Well, this 40-year-old DUI suspect's name is Victor Rivas. After striking a concrete barrier near New Orleans and blowing out a tire, Mr. Rivas allegedly jumped off an elevated highway straight into a swamp during a DUI stop, which is probably the worst thing you could do.
Wow. He dove right in the alligator pit.
Yeah. He had it coming.
They'll never find me here.
Yeah, and never again. Yeah. That's probably the last jump you ever make. He showed the classic signs of impairment: slurred speech, glassy eyes, the unshakable confidence that fleeing on foot into a Louisiana swamp was a great idea. There was that. Yeah. Cops did lose him temporarily, but later spotted him sitting down on another highway. When law enforcement approached him for round 2, our hero made the same brilliant tactical decision. Back into the swamp he went.
Wow. It worked before.
But that well? That's when Mother Nature introduced him to one of her local friends. An alligator emerged from the murky water, ready to nominate Rivas for the Darwin Awards. The gator latched on, thrashing around and turning Rivas's arms into its personal chew toys for a solid 30 seconds. Believe it or not, there's footage, Jess, and I'm going to post this in the description of the program so you can see how the gator got him.
Yikes.
This is why we don't jump into the swamp to avoid the police. It says that after Rivas jumped back into the swamp and was subdued by the gator, that's putting it lightly, he was booked at Nelson Coleman Correctional Center on charges of driving while impaired and resisting an officer, according to the sheriff. State police said they have warrants for his arrest on additional charges related to the initial highway crash that prompted their traffic stop. This is the picture of the gator with the sheriff getting his award.
Well, he got all dressed up for the occasion, Tim.
He did. He's looking good in his sheriff's uniform. That's for
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesus. Here's a bigger picture of it so you get a better look there, Jess. There he is right there.
Oh my goodness, it's hysterical.
Doesn't he look good?
Very handsome young man.
Wonder if he has
later.
snakeskin boots on. Probably look even better with those on. Right.
What the heck? That's not AI.
Oh, no.
It's real, Tim. It's real.
It's a real picture of that gator there, just getting his award. Oh, the miracles and miraculous things we can do with computers these days. Okay. Where are we at here? I think we only have a couple left here.
We going back to Florida?
As a matter of fact, we are. Boy, look at you. Got your psychic bonnet on today.
Knew it.
Speaking of DUI arrest, we seem to be on a DUI kick today. Now,
people are thirsty. It's hot out there, Tim.
Wow. Yes, it is, Jess. Okay, so if you were to get arrested on a DUI, how many or too many to be found with in the car? Let's say you've got a couple of road drinks with you.
I'm just booze cruising.
Yeah, you're booze cruising. How many is too many to be found with by a cop?
Well, I think technically the answer is 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to say if I have, 1 in each hand, I'm really in trouble.
Boy, you would think so. 1 in each hand would be pretty excessive. Now, let's say, what would be if you had to road cruise, and you're drinking in the car. By the way, I have a. Can I tell a little story between you, me, and thousands of our listeners?
Yes, we won't tell anyone.
You won't tell anyone, you promise?
Mm-mm, promise.
Back in the day, I don't think she does it anymore, but my oldest sister, I won't mention any names, we're driving to my other sister's graduation, high school graduation. This was a long, long time ago. And she's speeding down the highway, speeding down 35. She grabs a thermos. She's chugging on this thermos and she's road raging. She's like, God damn, these people, they won't get out of my way. Oh, they piss me off. And she's chugging out of this thermos. I go, what are you drinking? Coffee? I don't think you need any coffee. You're already pumped up. She's like, no, pina colada. And I'm like, virgin pina colada? No, this is fully loaded. I need something to calm me down. She was drinking a fully loaded pina colada.
And road raging.
On 35.
It wasn't working. It wasn't calming her down.
No. Now I'm thinking to myself, we get pulled over, she's screwed.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. But do you think a cop would think to look in a thermos?
I mean, if you're presenting signs of intoxication, I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Right?
This next story, I think you're going to get caught. This guy was drinking White Claws.
Okay, those are all right.
34 of them.
34? In one sitting?
In his car.
Why do you have that much room in your stomach to hold 34 White Claws?
I think that was part of the problem. 33 years old. 33-year-old Florida man was arrested with 34 open cans of White Claw in his car during a traffic stop. The 33-year-old's blood alcohol content was, believe it or not, only 0.177, which is more than twice the legal limit. For 34 open cans of White Claw, that is astonishingly low.
Yeah, I would literally be dead. I could not survive that much alcohol.
I don't know if he ate beforehand, or I don't know if he was working out or what he was doing, but this guy, Connor Parody is his name? Holy cow. We go, of course, to Pasco County, Florida. That explains part of it. Hillbilly rednecks in Pasco County are superhuman.
Yeah.
They can drink.
Blood alcohol it's not impacted the same way.
Right. Florida man's behind bars after he was found driving with more than 24 open cans of White Claw in his Honda Civic. So he was drag racing up and down 19, I'm sure. When he was pulled over Friday night, the driver was identified as 33-year-old Connor Parody of San Antonio. And he was stopped after he was traveling more than 90 miles per hour on Interstate 75. That's the other one. You can go up and down.
Gosh.
Yeah.
90 miles an hour?
Always having a good time. He got stopped by Florida Highway Patrol. During a traffic stop, state trooper reportedly observed Parody to be heavily intoxicated. Observed 34 open cans of White Claw in his vehicle. 34.
In one day, I couldn't drink 34 cans of White Claw in a week.
I don't think I could do it in a month.
Yeah, I don't think I could either.
Parody's blood alcohol content was, as I said, 0.177, which is more than twice the legal limit. He was arrested for DUI and taken to the Pasco County Jail. Evidently, when they put a match up to his mouth, he blew fire like Gene Simmons of Kiss. So that was fun. It was fun to watch.
Yeah. It's a fun party trick.
Fun party trick. Tell you what, let's switch it up just slightly. I'm going to show you a picture here, Jess. This guy right here. Kind of looks a little like Jack Osbourne. Right?
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Okay. Now, the reason I bring up that name or any name that might be semi-famous, is this guy pulled out a semi-famous name. John Wick, right?
Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason he did. This guy is a canine owner. And he's facing the prospect of losing his dogs.
Oh, sad.
Yeah. He's an imprisoned man, and he allegedly threatened a Minnesota cop's life and asked the officer, have you ever seen John Wick? The Keanu Reeves movie about a revenge murder spree prompted by the killing of an ex-hitman's beloved beagle puppy. The man I showed you the picture of is 28-year-old Teague Mayville. That's a very pretentious name.
Yeah.
No wonder he's got an attitude.
It sounds like a soap opera name.
It does. Teague Mayville. Of the Edina Mayvilles. Just saying. He has been locked up since his arrest last month for allegedly threatening and fighting with cops in Mankato. Yes, he's down in Mankato, 75 miles from Minneapolis. Mayville, who reportedly said he was in town to train for mixed martial arts. He was training in Mankato?
What? Is he like going to a tournament or what's happening right now?
No idea.
Training for a mission?
Is the world's best MMA training facility in Mankato, Minnesota? Am I missing something?
Oh, that's so weird.
Teague was in town to train for mixed martial arts, had a machete on his hip and another in his backpack. He threatened to stab officers in the neck at the time.
I don't like that.
He's got a bit of an attitude problem, Teague does. Teague Mayville. Of the East Coast Mayvilles, you may have heard of us. Yes. My Mummy was on Broadway. I don't know if you know this. Yes. Daddy was in stocks. At the time of his May 19th bust, Mayville was accompanied by 3 large dogs, which were subsequently transported to the local impound facility. Because dogs don't do time. But if they do it in the pound.
Poor dogs.
Yeah. When Mayville was told earlier this month that the animals would become city property if he did not immediately pick up or arrange care for those dogs, he allegedly became incensed. Let me do the voice again. I don't play about my fucking dogs, he said. Have you ever seen John Wick? He added. I'm going to kill these motherfuckers if they try to take my fucking dogs.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Oh, he is fucking pissed, I'll tell you. I tell you, when I go to lunch and get my sushi from Byerly's, I am going to raise a stink.
Yeah.
Try to work as many Minnesota references in here as I can.
And everyone's like, what's Byerly's?
What's a Byerly's? Charged with multiple felonies, Mayville is due in court. By gosh, he is due in court today as we tape.
Ooh.
I don't have a Mayville update. The status of his dogs is unclear. Hopefully they get as far away from him as possible.
No
Hopefully
kidding.
somebody will adopt them. Get him away from Mr. Mayville.
Yeah. And I kind of want to know what he was training for. Was he going to try to be a Power Ranger? Like, what was his plan?
Bruce Lee said, move like water. I move more like a douche. That's all there is to it. All right, we're going back to Florida for this next one, Jeff.
Let's go.
This guy is a busy guy. Got a lot going on. Our next criminal has a lot to negotiate in one night, but he's also a little clumsy. Some of us are a little klutzy, right?
Yeah.
but he's ambitious. I'll give him that. This man broke into a Bradenton store through the ceiling.
Oh.
Took stacks of lottery tickets at the same time, according to police. We go to Bradenton, Florida, where a man was arrested after surveillance video shows him breaking into the store in Bradenton through the ceiling before taking stacks of lottery tickets and cigarettes, according to authorities. The Bradenton Police Department said that 46-year-old Brian Jones entered Bud's Mini Mart. That's such a down-home name, isn't it?
I mean, all of it sounds like something made up.
Yeah.
Brian Jones at Bud's Mini Mart.
I'll shop at Bud's. On Carlton Drive around 9:55 p.m., Bud's Mini Mart. CCTV footage shows him hopping down into the store from a vent in the ceiling and triggering the store's security system. Now, this is how you know Brian's not that bright. Do you see any mask on him whatsoever?
It looks like he's looking straight into the camera.
He is. He's just saying hi.
Hey, Ma.
I'm on TV, Ma.
Look at me. Look at me, Ma.
Hey, you know what? Bud's is a great store, Ma. Not only that, but I couldn't find a ski mask in the goddamn aisle to put on my face.
Oh.
Of course, it's Florida. There's no ski masks in Florida. But
Oh, I suppose not.
No.
There would literally be no need for them except for robbing places.
Right. Jones spent less than 10 minutes inside the store taking handfuls of cigarettes and stacks of lottery tickets, alcohol, bologna, and cheese slices. Again, here's a guy who's not stacking properly when he's drunk. I don't know why, but he's just... officers reviewed the store's footage and identified Jones. Detectives spotted Jones near the store enthusiastically scratching the lottery tickets while carrying a backpack full of cigarettes.
Oh, I can just see it in my mind.
Life is good. If your burglary ends with you scratching stolen lottery tickets a short distance from the crime scene, your odds of avoiding arrest have significantly become worse than your odds of winning the lottery. BPD said on a Facebook post.
It is not your lucky day.
No, you're pretty much screwed at that point. You might as well just walk over to the jail and let yourself in.
Just chilling with his bologna and cheese, scratching away.
Yep, just... Jones was arrested, charged with burglary to a structure causing damage and criminal mischief.
Wait, they didn't say he stole any bread. I'm really bothered by that. He's just eating bologna and cheese without anything to put it on.
Well, he's carb conscious. Yeah. Gotta stay carb conscious these days. Especially if you're breaking in through the ceiling, because you'll fall through every single time. I mean, there's a lot of flimsy ceilings out there, Jess. You really...
That's true. You really got to keep your weight in check.
Yep. Got to be as light and airy as possible so you can keep doing those ceiling robberies. So, we're staying in Florida, where a final investigative report into the mauling of a Florida man by a black bear provides harrowing new details. Screw that up a little bit. Of last year's fatal attack on the 89-year-old victim. The gruesome killing of Robert Markle by a 257-pound predatory black bear is detailed by witness statements, evidence, and necropsy photos and incident reports compiled by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission. Following the recent closing of the state probe, agency records were released to the Smoking Gun in response to a public records request. The incident, officials say, was the first fatal I'll get this right, kids. The first fatal black bear attack in the state's history. Markle was set upon at a 4-acre family compound in a Collier County community adjacent to Big Cypress National Preserve, a sprawling freshwater swamp in southern Florida. The property contained 3 mobile homes arranged in a semicircle in a common area across from the residences. The land, according to investigators, exists within a unique ecosystem of rare flora, fauna, and wildlife. Markle, who was 6'1" tall and weighed only 100 pounds, that's it for that old man.
Wow. He was tiny.
100 pounds. Lived in a 28 by 8 foot single wide Jayco travel trailer that had seen better days. Oh, that's sad.
I know. This one is really bumming me out.
On its elevated attached porch was a worn couch, grill, a shop vac, and an aluminum walker. On the night of May 4th, on the bear attack, Markle, whose family members called him Pawpaw, was sitting outside in a folding lawn chair on the front end of his RV smoking a 305's cigarette. Oh, it's practically a Lucy from the store. Oh, this doesn't get much sadder, Jess. Around 7:30 p.m., Markle's 66-year-old daughter walked the 50 feet between their trailers and handed him his evening medication. It was their nightly routine. Oh, God, this is heartbreaking.
Really?
Sue Story told investigators and her father usually took his pills with dinner. Inside Markle's trailer, leftover baked beans from lunch were atop the stove, and the TV was blaring, which was common due to the octogenarian's hearing impairment. After saying goodnight, Story returned to her trailer, expecting Markle to do the same, as it was close to sunset. When questioned by FWC personnel, Story was adamant that her father would never be outside after dark because he was afraid of bears. Oh, he was afraid of bears.
Oh.
Jess, that was his biggest
Like
fear.
he knew it was coming.
Oh.
It's like his soul knew. That's how I go. So he spent his whole life afraid of bears, and then bam. Ugh.
Oh. Around 7 a.m. the following day, Story was taking trash to the curb when she heard her dog Lola barking. She looked back to see a bear dashing from the woods and pouncing on the 20-pound miniature pinscher. In response to Story's screams for help, a relative ran outside and threw a vehicle battery at the bear. What?
Okay. So many questions, but why is that the first thing you have available?
Right? You live in the woods in a semicircle
so weird.
of trailers, and you don't have at least a pop gun to fire at this thing? So you throw a vehicle battery? So you're never going to get away, obviously.
It makes me think there's some cars on blocks associated with this semicircle.
You know there is. Struck by the battery, the bear retreated into the woods, leaving behind the canine, who had succumbed to her injuries. Oh, so we lost a canine.
This bear, what a horrible, horrible creature. He kills an old man and a dog.
After her dog was attacked, Story went to check.
I hate this bear.
I know. The bear is Satan. After the dog was attacked, Story went to check on her father. The home front's door was open, but Markle was not inside the trailer, which appeared to have been ransacked. As seen in an evidence photo, a set of bear claws had torn into the screen door. Panicked relatives called 911 and reported Pawpaw missing. According to dispatch logs, family members said they can't find their grandpa from the camper, and the camper is all torn apart. Then, in an update, they just found grandpa's pants and shirt in the woods. And I take it he's not streaking. I got to add levity. I'm sorry. It's in my DNA.
Well, Papa's at it again.
Papa's not at the swimming hole naked. I know that much. According to an initial FWC assessment, Markle was believed to be sleeping in residence when the bear attacked. Oh, he was sleeping. He was defenseless.
How does a bear get into the house and rip it apart and steal someone? Is that a bear thing to do? I didn't know that he's like a thief.
The bear was like, appetizer.
So weird.
Sushi roll. Maybe he was rabid. I don't know.
It's just so aggressive. I've never heard of a bear being so aggressive that it would like break into your actual home.
I don't know. I have no idea. This story continues.
Was it a person in a bear costume? Like, I just can't believe a bear would behave this way. I could see a psychotic serial killer person doing this, but not an animal.
It does happen, Jess. Animals are not furry cuddly all the time.
And he just like ripped his clothes off.
Yes.
I think the bear is a rapist.
That's the only way to get down to the white meat.
Oh my gosh. I'm so disturbed. I just can't with this story. I don't know what's happening.
To the bear, it's like Christmas morning. You got to take away the packaging in order to get to the present, you know?
Oh my, all these stuffed bears I have in my house, I'm throwing them all away. I am traumatized by this story. Build-A-Bear bears, they're out of here.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
Fuck them things.
Killers.
It does explain a little bit here. It says, according to an initial FWC assessment, Markle was believed to be sleeping in residence when the bear attacked in the spring, since natural food sources are generally limited and predatory attacks on livestock are more common, it says here. FWC concluded that it was highly possible the man may have been attacked by a bear. They're saying that, of course, he was attacked by a bear because food sources are rare. So they just
want them baked beans. That's why.
Yeah. Well, there you go. The bear might have smelled the baked beans.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, well, that man must be full of baked beans. So let's open up that pinata and see.
Do you think the bear snatched him and took him, like carried him out? Or do you think Pop like got up and ran for his frickin' life and just didn't get very far?
This next sentence will answer that question.
Okay.
Following a blood trail, it did not take investigators long to locate Markle's body under a forest canopy. So,
oh my goodness.
The bear ripped him up right there.
This is a horror movie. This is like that movie with that bear on cocaine.
Cocaine Bear. I think is what you're looking for.
I forgot the name of the movie.
I think that's the name you're looking for. Cocaine Bear. In a thick cypress strand about 475 feet from the trailer, FWC agents located a cache site containing the victim's remains. Markle's body had largely been covered with dirt and leaf litter, a common practice of predators seeking to hide prey from rivals or scavengers. This action is consistent with black bear behavior, as they prefer to feed in seclusion and often drag large prey to concealment, where they sometimes cache the remains of larger carcasses, according to an FWC report. Markle's body was bent in half, and its condition was consistent with predation by a black bear, as the skin was torn from his flesh, and the bear fed heavily on the face, neck, chest, groin, and arms.
I am not okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh, this is maybe the worst story you've ever read to me.
Bears are not cuddly little things. They're wild animals. The discovery of Markle's remains triggered a forensic investigation. At the same time, FWC officials hunted for the black bear. In short order, one bear was captured in a trap near the family compound and later euthanized. Two other bears were euthanized by gunshot by an FWC lieutenant who fired an AR-10 rifle from a forest tree stand. Necropsies identified Bear 2 are responsible for Markle's death. The 15-year-old animal's stomach contained hair, human remains, plastic, cigarette butts, and grapes. My guess is they found Papa's killer.
Oh, no.
Yeah. the extensive probe into the fatal attack, analyzing everything from arterial spray to Pawpaw's print, or to not Pawpaw's prints, but to paw prints to bear scat, disproved the family's initial report that Grandpa was asleep at the time of the attack. He was not.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's horrible.
They should have just let him think he was.
I'm a little reticent to think of how he even fought back, or if he could have.
Yeah, he's an 89-year-old, 100-pound man. This who needs a walker? Like,
I just don't know how. It's hard for me to wrap my head around.
do you think the bear knew that he was like weak?
Yes.
Do you think the bear was like scoping him out, like
Yes.
a freaking stalker, and watching and like, okay,
Yes.
I can get that one.
Yep. The minute he was left alone, he went after him. Yep.
That is crazy. This story, I thought, oh, you might get attacked by a bear if you're like out in the bear's territory, but I never would have imagined a bear coming in and taking you out of your home and then burying you like a freaking serial killer.
Yeah. Yeah.
After it ate your face and groin.
Uh-huh.
Jeez.
And a side note, it says here, in order to minimize bear-human interaction, and maximize public safety, state officials noted that it was illegal in Florida to feed or approach the animals. In addition to securing food, garbage, and recycling, citizens were advised to report bear activity to your neighbors and the FWC. Bear sightings were a regular occurrence at the family compound. In fact, early in the morning, Markle was discovered missing. His granddaughter, Cheyenne, heard branches snapping in the woods, but did not see anything. In a written statement, the teenager told investigators she didn't think much of it because the bear is usually out. So I got in my car and went to school.
So it was stalking them.
Yes. Another family member told of bears being at their house nearly every night, including a big male around 400 pounds who was bullying and chasing off other bears in the area. He added that a bear had been on his front porch the night before. Additionally, reinforced garbage cans on the site all contained claw marks and gouges. So they were there and hungry.
Yeah. What a wild, wild story.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just disturbing. I mean, it's just disturbing. Yeah.
Oh, geez. I'm going to have nightmares.
Yeah. Yeah. Bears are not anything to mess with. I mean, they're, and in fact, I have a cousin who, I mean, he, for all intents and purposes, he's a rugged He-Man type. He's also homeless, but and he does have some mental issues. But he's the type who wanders out in the desert to shoot rattlesnakes. But he's also been bit by them multiple times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he would be the type to wander up to a bear and want to get into it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of not knowing any better, not in his right faculties.
Oh no, he knows. I mean, he knows how to get into it with a bear and survive and win, but he would do it just for the thrill of it.
Not me. I'm gonna have to tell my husband we are never going camping. Never.
Me, I am the type of rugged survivalist that I love a good 4-star hotel. Yeah, give me a nice fluffy bed at the Hilton and
yeah, I can do a cabin as long as it's got real walls and a door that is solid. But no campers, no tents. Heck no.
You know, I will stay at a cabin as long as it has a nice Tempur-Pedic bed. You know, if you can, yeah, got one.
Do you
of
need a
those.
good bed at a certain point in life, don't you, Tim?
Yeah. And I've reached that point, Jess, where I need that good bed. Yeah. And, some nice, good, soft carpeting. If you've got that at that cabin, nice, soft carpeting. Yeah. And maybe a nice massage chair if you've got that at the cabin.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. I'll take that as well. And a fully stocked fridge. And if you've got air conditioning at the cabin, I'll take that as well.
A wine cellar.
And a wine cellar.
Let's just go big, Tim. This isn't really a cabin. It's more of a,
a lake home?
estate that happens to be,
okay.
in the woods on a lake.
Okay. All right. Twist my arm.
We're good with that.
Twist my arm. You've convinced me. That's what I'm looking for. A well-stocked lake home is what I'm looking for.
Oh, geez. Frickin' bears.
Yeah, frickin' bears. All right. Next story has to do with the fact that ladies and gentlemen, I think I have the clip here. Nope, that's not it. Darn it. I had the clip here and then I didn't. Nope. Again, I don't have it. Here it is.
Phenomenon.
That's not it either, but it's an oldie but a goodie.
Ladies and gentlemen,
here it is.
We got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The banana chip bandit has been busted.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Chip bandit.
Yep. The banana chip bandit has been busted.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
That's right. An accused thief was unable to give cops the slip. By the way, if you ever wanted to see what a banana chip bandit looks like, it's right here. Banana chip bandit.
That's a girl.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yep.
I'm Bill Curtis.
What's that?
Oh, it said, why does it look like she's at the hair salon? She's wearing like a hair salon cape. That's like what they put on you when they're going to dye your hair.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Well, I'll explain here, then you'll know. Maybe she needed a little something, while she was sitting in the chair. By the way, if you've never had a banana chip before, that's it right there.
Ooh, I do like banana chips.
Yeah, they're good.
I do.
They're pretty tasty. Let me tell you the essentials behind this deal. The banana chip bandit has finally been apprehended per police.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. A bizarre crime spree ended last night with the arrest of 59-year-old Florida woman for the theft of about $300 worth of banana chips from a supermarket. $300 worth. That's at least 2 bags. Cops charged that Annette Nichols had repeatedly swiped the banana chips from a Publix near her Vero Beach residence. Over the past few weeks, Nichols has been coming into the store and stealing the same one piece of merchandise off their shelves. The item in question is a $6.49 bag of banana chips. An arrest affidavit states.
That is a little pricey. I can get why she didn't want to pay for it.
Right? Would you want to pay $6.50 every time you want a banana chips?
No, I would not. She stole a lot, though, to get up to $300.
Although, in all fairness, every time I get Spuddy her almonds, $9.
Yeah, almonds are not cheap.
Yeah. Lorenzo Altamura, a Publix deli manager, told cops that Nichols had stolen banana chips on 6 separate dates. It should be important to note that due to this ongoing theft of banana chips, Lorenzo has limited the amount of banana chip stock that he puts on those shelves.
Damn. Wow, she's ruining it for everyone.
Yep. He also added that Annette continues to take all of the bags that she can. She's got a problem.
Yeah. She's just stuffing them in her pockets, sticking them down her pants.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh. That's what I smelled. It's moist banana chips.
Ew.
While Nichols has paid for some chips at self-checkout, she has failed to scan other bags before exiting Publix. When confronted by police, Nichols reportedly confessed to the banana chip thefts and said she did not know why she steals something so stupid, adding it's not worth going to jail over and losing her job.
That's true.
Or is it? Tempted, are we? A search of Nichols' car turned up 13 bags of banana chips, some of which were apparently stolen Monday from some Vero Beach store, as well as a second Publix at a neighboring county. This pattern of behavior for banana chip theft from Annette is a common occurrence, the sheriff's deputy alleged. Charged with theft, Nichols was free from custody last night before positing $150 bond on the misdemeanor charge. So how many times does 650 go into 150?
I mean, do you think it's a compulsion? Like, it's not about the banana chips. It's more about the act of stealing them and hoarding them, because there's no reason to have that many bags of banana chips at one time.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no other answer for it. I mean, it's not rational.
No, baby girl just needs some therapy.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, she needs a hug. That's what she needs. She needs a hug.
When you hug her, she's going to crunch because she's got all these banana chips stuffed in her crevices.
Or hear me out here, Jess. If she's vacuum packed, she's going to pop when you hug her. Yeah. It's just going to be one big pop. By the way, she has been convicted before. She was convicted in 2024 of retail theft for skip scanning items at a Walmart in Vero Beach. So it's not the first time she's been tagged for banana chip theft. Court records do not indicate whether Nichols was consuming the purloined banana chips. Sheriff and jail records list the 5'7" Nichols' occupation as accountant and collections and accounting. Those documents alternately put her. Why do we go to her weight? Her weight at either 348 or 220 pounds. Whoa.
What does that have to do with the story?
I don't know, but why did weight become a thing all of a sudden?
All right. Well, if you're going to give us her weight, you should at the very least tell us why she's wearing a hair cutting smock.
Beats the hell out of me.
I'm way more curious about that than what she weighs in at.
Maybe because they had to strip search her for all the banana chips. I don't know. And they got me. All right. And finally, our last story is not safe for work. So if you've had kids listening this entire time, they're probably warped for life. But you probably want to get them out of the room for this last story. We do have in our palate cleanser, there is one semi not safe for work story. So, get them out of the room. If your boss is in the room, well, apologize to us or for us to him. This broadcast has been unusual anyway. So, yeah, he's probably.
I mean, if you let your kids listen to the pop story.
Yeah.
I can't help you.
Yeah, they're already scarred. Everyone is scarred already. So we'll begin scarring them even more in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the party, pal. Here we go. This story will scar you even further. So
Great.
Looking forward to your palate cleanser even more today, Jeff. Oh boy. We're going to Miami, Florida, of course. We've been in Florida a lot today. A lot of Florida stuff.
I mean, I feel like we've been vacationing in Florida pretty much the whole time. We went to Louisiana once, but that's like hop, skip, and a jump, right?
Minnesota. We came back to Minnesota.
I guess, we were in Minnesota for a hot second and Colorado for a second, but
fatigue.
Florida heavy.
Yeah. Detectives say a Homestead homeowner says a drunk man tried to have sex with a tree, fell from a ladder, and it turned out to be a murder.
Wow. I can't even process what you just said. All I can think about is splinters in places.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Unless he found an extremely interesting knothole. Then it might have.
I feel like the potential is still there for splinters. It's wood.
Yeah. Unless it was a mossy knothole. By the way, Mossy Knothole is a great band name. Yeah. Continue.
Put it on a t-shirt, Tim.
Yep. I'm going to put it on a t-shirt. It'll be for sale shortly. A girl faces fear of abuser to help Miami-Dade detectives solve a father's 2024 murder, according to records. Let's jump into the story, because if you thought that one about the bear was unusual. We're going to Miami-Dade County, Florida. An 11-year-old girl lived a haunting nightmare while living at her great-aunt's house near Redondo Elementary School in Homestead, according to records. It took more than 2 years after her father's murder and months after her mother's deportation for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office detectives to uncover what the girl had experienced and witnessed. With the support of MDSO detectives, that's Miami-Dade. Well, I'm not going to tell you what the SO stands for. I'll let you guess. Mainly because I just had a brain fart. With the support of MDSO detectives, the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office, and the Christie House Children's Advocacy Center, the girl faced her fear of her abuser and eventually spoke up, records show. On June 10th, Miami-Dade County Circuit Judge William Altfield issued a warrant for the search of the house and the arrest of Christian Herreras, the girl's second cousin, who also lived at the house. The MDSO detectives reported their investigations uncovered Herreras, then 28 and 29, sexually abused the girl for months in 2024 before killing her concerned father and threatening to kill her mother. Here's the timeline of the girl's suffering in the MDSO detectives' investigations, as described by Altfield's warrant. On December 16th of 2024, Homestead Police Department officers and Miami-Dade fire rescue personnel responded to a report of a fatal fall in a house's backyard near Northwest 10th Avenue and 12th Street. Homeowner Angelica Medina, Herreras's mother, and the girl's great aunt, told police that the girl's father had a drinking problem, and he would get so drunk that he would climb up the ladder to have sexual intercourse with trees in the yard. That's probably that's probably the funniest part of this whole story. Some of us get drunk and
don't understand.
Go party. Some of us get so drunk we go have sex with the trees in the yard.
And this was the girl's dad, the poor little girl that was being molested by this other guy, and her dad's out there humping a tree.
That's right. Humping around, as Bobby Brown used to say.
Poor baby.
MDFR personnel declared the girl's father dead. A little too much wood. HPD asked MDSO to take over the case, and a homicide investigator reported the girl's father had suffered a compound skull fracture, which exposed his brain. A little too hard hitting out there in the front yard, evidently. Yeah. Or just fell off a ladder. The homicide investigator, who was wearing a body camera and taking pictures, also reported finding what appeared to be blood on a ladder and on a cement garden brick that had several strands of hair. It's starting to look a little fishy. Right. Mm-hmm. The girl's mother told detectives that her husband had vanished overnight before Herreras showed her the body covered with palm fronds facing upward on the ground near a tree under a ladder. The girl's mother said Herreras then started screaming profanities at her dead husband, and later said dogs were licking the blood on the cement brick that a detective was looking for after seizing the ladder. Herreras, yeah, I know. This is bizarre. Herreras told the detective that the girl's mother had used the cement brick that was near her dead husband to set up a memorial in the backyard, but the girl's mother told the detective that wasn't true. Detectives learned that before the murder, the girl's father was concerned about Herrera's as always trying to be alone with her. So he asked the girl's mother to not let him be with the girl without supervision. Detectives also learned from relatives that after the girl's father confronted Herrera's and asked him to avoid getting too close with his 11-year-old daughter, Herrera showed him a handgun to scare him. Not good.
Yikes.
On January 28th of 2025, the medical examiner's office reported the victim was bludgeoned to death and that it appeared that the homicide scene was staged. On February 5th of 2025, the medical examiner's office released a toxicology report showing the victim did not have any alcohol or drugs in his system at the time of his death. During the MDSO homicide investigation, the girl's mother moved out of the house in Homestead and traveled to Dallas, Texas, and with her kids, to live with her husband's family. On February 14th of 2025, a detective who traveled to Dallas and interviewed the girl reported she exhibited signs of possible sexual abuse and recommended a specialized forensic interview. On March 10th of 2025, the medical examiner's office reported that the girl's father's cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head and determined the manner of death was a homicide. On May 26th of 2025, the girl's mother was detained in Dallas, and U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement deported her to Mexico. Like, how there's so much going on with this family.
If you wrote this as a movie, people would think you were like out of your mind putting this together. It's insane.
Right. On June 6th of last year, the girl was the subject of a video recorded forensic interview at the Dallas Children's Advocacy Center. And she said she had told her mother that Herrera's had confessed to killing her father and gifted her a cell phone that her mother then threw away. Why would mom throw away the cell phone, not keep it as evidence and turn it over to the cops?
Right.
The girl did not disclose the sexual abuse until 2026. On February 13th, the girl's relatives reported that she said that Herrera's had sexually molested her in Homestead. So a detective decided she needed to undergo a second forensic interview. On May 13th, the girl's aunt told a detective who was trying to schedule the second forensic interview that on January 22nd, the girl told her that she had been the victim of sexual battery in Homestead. On May 21st, a detective with the Special Victims Bureau and a homicide detective were with the girl when she participated in a video-recorded forensic interview at the Christie House Children's Advocacy Center in Miami-Dade County. The girl described how Herrera didn't care if she was in pain when he sexually battered her more than 5 times. And she did not report his abuse or that she had seen her father dead after Herrera killed him and covered it up because she was scared and did not trust anyone until then. Wow, this is just...
Well, of course she didn't trust anyone. What she's been through is like, I can't even wrap my brain around it as reality.
Yeah, it's beyond trauma. On Thursday morning, MDSO deputies were searching the house in Homestead when they found Herrera at a window trying to flee. He tensed his body while they handcuffed him, according to the arrest report. At 8 a.m. on Thursday, detectives arrested Herrera at the offices of the MDSO Special Victims Bureau. According to the arrest report, Miami-Dade Corrections booked Herrera at 6:45 p.m. on Thursday at the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center, where he remained without bond on Friday afternoon. Herrera faces charges of first-degree murder, 5 counts of sexual battery on a minor by an adult, and resisting arrest without violence. Miami-Dade County Circuit Judge Marcus Bach is set to preside over the case. That's a lot.
That is maybe more than the bear story.
Well, we got to build to a crescendo here, right? Right, Jess?
I thought the bear story was going to be the craziest one you told me ever, and this one might win.
Well, I'm glad I could top your expectations.
Well done. Yes.
Well, with that, we need a palate cleanser, right? Maybe now more than ever.
Yes, please.
You're like, yes, please. Okay, so our palate cleanser today is basically about outliving our expectations. Is that a good way to put it? Or
okay.
Living, exceeding our expectations. That's what we'll put it, right? Or outliving our expectations, one or the other. We start with this one, right? It's a bit of an obituary for the first story, but it's a good obituary. You know, sometimes you hear an obituary that's a little bit inspiring, right? Or you sit back and you go, wow, what a life that person lived, right? Or wow, that person lived to be a ripe old age. Well, I'm going to show you a picture here of this gentleman, if I can get it to, without spoiling the headline here. So here's this gentleman right here. Take a look at now. He's pretty well preserved, right?
Yeah, he looks like he's lived a good long life.
Right.
He's definitely elderly.
How old would you think he is?
89.
Probably a good long age.
Yeah.
William Poole of Bolivar, Missouri, passed away at the age of 101.
Get out of town.
Seriously. He looked
really good.
Yeah, he was well preserved for 101, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1941, served throughout World War II, including participating in the Battle of the Bulge and the long Allied offensive that ended in Austria. He was also the last son of a Civil War veteran.
Whoa, that's crazy.
Isn't it? That's a pretty long line.
Yeah, that dude's just walking history.
Yeah. Poole was also a member of the Sons of the Union Veterans of the Civil War, which is a fraternal organization that honors ancestors who fought for that side of the Civil War. In the 161 years since the conclusion of that war, the organization is in the hands of later descendants, but Poole's father was literally a Civil War soldier.
Oh, he would have been quite old when he was born, though. That was 161 years ago, and this guy was 101. His dad was an old man.
Yeah. KY3 News reports that Poole's father, Charles Parker Poole, was born in 1844. He served in the 6th West Virginia Volunteer Infantry Regiment. He was 80 years old when his son William Poole was born in January of 1925.
He was 80?
He was 80 when his son was born.
Okay, I wasn't mathing. I was thinking more like in his 60s, but freaking 80?
He was 80 when his son was born.
Wow.
Yeah. Who was the last son of a Confederate veteran that's a different sentence, but they threw it in here anyways. What was Calvin Robertson Crane, who passed away in 2019 at the age of 102? Like Poole, Crane was a combat veteran of World War II. But we salute today William Poole, who passed away at 101. His daddy was 80 when he had him.
I'm blown away.
Exceeding expectations, right?
These men are amazing.
Pretty amazing, right? I want to introduce you to another man who's exceeding expectations and is pretty amazing for a totally different reason. And it may make you giggle just slightly.
Okay. I'm ready.
This one is a diagnostic dilemma, Jess. A man who donated his body to science after he died he's got something a little unusual. He's 78 years old, not too old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he lived a decent life, but not old by any means. But he donated his body to science, and when he did so, they discovered something unusual about his body. Can you guess what it was?
No. There's so many things that could be wrong with it. Did he have
Or maybe
11 toes?
Maybe right about it. Yeah, that's a good guess. He might have, but it wasn't 11 toes.
Okay.
But you're in the ballpark. He had extra something.
Did he have an extra penis?
Yes, he did.
What a lucky guy.
Not just extra. He had not just one extra. He had two extra. He had 3 penises.
Stop. That's crazy.
Yeah.
We had a pig once that had an extra tail, and I thought that was wild. That was just one extra tail coming out of his back. Were his extra penises in the right place? Were they? Because yeah, that pig's tail was growing out of his back. Did he just? You had one tail down at the butt, and then you had one tail just poking right up out of its. Where were his wee-wees?
Well, allow me to speculate on.
I hope you have a picture. It's the only time I've ever asked you to show me porn, Tim.
That is true, Jess. The man, first of all, let me tell you about this man. He's in the United Kingdom. He donated his body after death, and while dissecting the cadaver, medical students made a serendipitous discovery in the pelvis. Inside the skin of the scrotal sac and adjacent to the primary external penis were 2 smaller penile structures. Only the primary penis was externally visible, so you could only see one.
Oh, he's hiding them in there.
That's right. But all 3 penises included a bulbous structure called a glans and a chamber of spongy tissue that would fill all with blood to create an erection, known as
no! So his little penises were getting erections inside of his body?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It was known as a corpus cavernosum. Now, what happened next? Well, doctors measured the 3 penises, finding that the external penis measured only about 3 inches long. He wasn't necessarily gifted. So what happens next then here, Jess? It turns out that doctors measured the 3 penises. And it turns out that the external penis only measures about 3 inches long. So he wasn't necessarily gifted in that, in that respect. And it was only about 0.9 inches wide.
Oh, it's so little.
I mean, it's cute, right?
What adorable.
He's actually a micro. Well, he's not necessarily a micro. He's undersized.
Yeah.
Because I think they say now what the average is. What is the average between 3 and 4? Is it 3 and 4 inches is the average? I don't know. I have to look it up. Unless you want to look it up. I mean,
these are statistics I don't know.
If you want to Google it, I don't know. You can.
I'm on it, Tim. I'm Googling right now.
Average male penis size, I think, is what it is. Or is it 4 to 5? I'm trying to remember.
Let's see. Oh, wants to show me pictures. No, I just want the picture of the 3 penises.
That's half the fun of having Jess look this stuff up.
Okay, flaccid, generally about 3.6 inches.
There
so yeah, between 3 and 4. You were correct.
There you go.
You know your penis. What's
I know
the word
my penis facts. So he was a little undersized at 3 inches.
Yeah.
Do they say what the average width is?
Typical girth is 4.5 to 4.7 inches.
Wow. So he was definitely not on the width. The second penis measured 1.49 inches long. So definitely undersized there, and was 0.51 inches wide. Third penis, 1.45 inches long and a width of 0.47 inches.
Huh. So you put them all together and he was just perfectly normal.
So he was Russian nesting doll. That's kind of
weird.
Yeah.
Now, you gotta wonder, like, he probably didn't know any differently, but how weird would it be for those penises when he got excited to get erect? You would feel that inside of yourself, I would think.
Or not. I mean, if they all worked in tandem with each other.
Huh. So no pictures, huh? I really wanted to see them.
I'm not seeing any in the article.
Of course they're not. And we're not going to see
I'm sorry.
corpse penises. That's even weirder.
I can search for it and see if I find it.
Nah.
It says here that upon closer examination, doctors saw that there was only one urethra, the tube that transports urine from the bladder, which followed a meandering course through the secondary penis and then into the primary penis, terminating in the external penis's urethral orifice. There were no branches in the tunnel, and no additional urethral tubes were found in the third and smallest penis. So, by the way, the diagnosis on this deal, why it happened the way it happened, it said during fetal development, a structure called the genital tubercle arises and eventually develops into external genitalia, forming either a clitoris or a penis. In this case, there may have been a triplication of the genital tubercle, resulting in 3 of the little guys. According to the report, possessing 3 penises is called a triphalia. The more common variant of this anomaly is called diphalia, which refers to 2 penises. So, and that's more common to have 2 of them, I guess, than 3 of them. The urethra originated in the secondary penis, but changed course and redirected into the primary penis when the secondary one failed to fully develop, according to the author's study.
I did find a picture, and it says autopsy revealed that a 78-year-old man has ... And the picture is like, it looks like it's all blurred. I'm afraid to click it, like I'm going to be on some list. Like, click it.
You're going to be on a penis watch list.
Oh, it clicked automatically with my dog's butt when I picked him up.
Nice. Now you're looking at it.
It's still blurred. I can't see. It's blurred, but they're showing 1, 2, 3. They have little arrows pointing down.
All right, I'll look it up.
Weird,
Man
Tim.
in England. What was the search you put in there? Man in England.
I just did man with 3 penises, and then I clicked images.
All right, I'm looking it up here so I can show it to you on the video. Let's see here, images.
But it just like it's gloves and like plastic, people wearing plastic sleeves. Like they're in there autopsying him, I think. Fascinating. I've learned so much today, Tim.
I'm trying. I try to,
I learned that bears can kill your ass even when you're safely inside of your home with the door shut.
When I put in autopsy photos, this was one of the images that came up. 3 bananas.
3 bananas. I have 3 bananas on mine too. It's not funny, people. They're not bananas. They're Winkies.
They're not bananas. They're Winkies. Yeah.
Oh, hey, here's a picture. It looks like they dissected it and took it apart. And it's like fleshy.
You mean this one? This isn't the one you're looking at, is
I don't know
it?
what I'm looking. Oh, yours isn't blurred. Mine's all blurred.
So that's the one you're looking at?
I think that's it. Yeah. Interesting. I guess I do know what I'm looking at. Oh, sorry, Timmy. You can put it down now.
All right. Okay. So we've all had a good look.
I've got my fill.
We've all had a good look.
Oh, that is.
Science.
This is a science show, friends.
Yeah. Well, we just took it that way. That's for sure.
We're like Bill Nye the Science Guy, only the opposite.
Only dirtier. Something like that. Yeah. That's for sure.
Oh, so weird. Well, great stories, Tim.
Yeah, well, we tried this week. That's for sure. We gave it the good old college try, Jess. That is for sure. All right, my friend. Well, you have a course online at your website. Tell us a little bit about it.
I do. I have a course called Stop Shrinking, and it's 4 lessons.
It has nothing to do with the last story, right? Nothing to do with the last story, right? Stop shrinking?
No.
Okay, good. I'm sorry. Continue. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Unless you want it to be. You can make that one next. But yeah, if you're interested, you can check it out online on my website, jessicafreeberg.com. That's all I got going right now. I'm just working on some books. I'm writing about haunted waters right now, Tim, and it's so fun.
Haunted waters?
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
Like ladies of the lake. There's so many ladies of the lake out there.
Yeah? Well, it's better than, I suppose with mermaids and ladies of the lake and sirens and harpies and, yeah.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah. Interesting.
Fun stuff.
So is this a 27 project then?
Yeah, this one will come out in 2027.
Okay, yeah. This isn't a mass release, like 57 of them at the same time, right? It's just something we got to put...
Just three this time.
This is something we got to put Bender on high alert for?
Yep, warn him. I've got 3 more coming out in August, so we've got 2 months for him to take a little rest. And he better brace himself.
So he can take the kids on vacation in July here and then get ready for August, huh?
That's right.
Okay, all right.
Be crazy.
All right. Well, for this week, Supernatural News tomorrow with Mally Fox. Got that going on. And then Thursday, can't remember how we're doing this on Thursday. We got us a show, I know that. Trying to figure out what we're doing on Thursday. Oh, Thursday. How do I tease this here? Yes. Okay. Right. We are talking about some good old-fashioned ghost hunting on Thursday.
Fun.
With someone who is got some impressive credentials. We'll put it that way. So, yeah. So we're doing that on Thursday.
I'll be listening.
That is the plan for this week. In a few weeks here now, we have a guest coming on to talk. We're gonna address the whole AI issue. Because, man, that is on fire right now.
It's wild.
And we're going to talk about the whole AI, the AI and it potentially getting out of control. It was I'm trying to remember which one of the heads of the AI companies that warned us recently about AI getting out of control. And it's just a turn of the worm of it getting out of control and us not being able to control it, and it happening sooner than later. But we're going to have that discussion on the program, and it's going to happen, I think, last week of June, first week of July. So it's coming, and there's a new book out about it. So I can't wait for that discussion. That's coming up here relatively shortly. So
it's going to freak me out more than the bear, but I'll listen.
Maybe we can have AI go after the bear. That'd be fun.
I mean, if it'd serve a good use then, if it could do that.
Well, unless the bear takes AI apart.
Ooh, I know that bear's pretty crafty.
Yeah. And you got a whole new ball game, Jess. Whole new ball game.
Ooh.
So, yeah. All right. With that, folks, just 2 reminders before we head into or head out for the day. True Crime Tuesday swag is available. If you are looking for True Crime Tuesday t-shirts, hoodies, hats, stuff for summer, darknessradioshow.com. Look for the shop and then get your swag there. Also, over the weekend, I posted some interviews on our blog at darknessradioshow.com having to do with Disclosure Day. And what some of the people speculated what they thought Disclosure Day was all about, the movie. And that was in line at the screening. Now that you guys have had a chance to maybe see that movie a little bit, it's interesting to kind of go back and see what those people thought as far as Disclosure Day went. So go check out those interviews. They're available only online at darknessradioshow.com on our blog. So go check that out. All right, that'll do it for today. For Jessica Freeberg, I'm Tim Dennis. Thank you so much for joining us today for the best in true crime podcasting. This has been True Crime Tuesday.